Welcome to Visions of the Past, a podcast that is normally about the lore of Assassin's Creed, but it is that time of year again, and here we are, and a modern taking of a story as we did last year. But as always, I am not alone with this story. I am joined today by Crimson Knight.
Hello.
And by my good friend Andrew.
Hello.
And today we're going to actually do like we did last year. And we're going to mix a little bit of D&D and we're going to mix a little bit of Assassin's Creed. And we're going to see how things play out. Should be fun. So as we ended last year, we're about, I'll say 3 months after the story ended. And we've all gone our separate ways. Crimson, what has become of Kat?
Well, I feel like she's been kind of making some trouble for the company a little bit. And I feel like she's fallen in with a group of like even deeper into a group of like hacktivist types and has just been trying to like out the company's BS online a bit more, you know?
Okay. Where is she living? Where is she at physically?
Honestly, wherever you need her to be. But I feel like because of the fact that she takes the company very seriously in regards to how dangerous they are, that she probably keeps on the move.
Okay. And where was her latest? Why don't you explain her latest, I guess, mission that she has given herself?
Um, hmm. I feel like knowing Kat, she kind of likes to be a bit dramatic. And so she probably target I feel like the company had this big product reveal of some sort. And she
Okay.
probably had planned to crash the party a little bit with that. Um Now, given the fact that it's the company, she probably did not necessarily succeed to the degree that she had hoped. Um, but uh, at the very least, it didn't necessarily get her killed. um,
Well, here's what I will say that kind
okay.
of happened with this. We didn't. The company decided after they retrieved the fake True Cross was that they were going to put it in museums and they were going to basically show it off, going from the Louvre to the Met, a world
Mhm.
tour, so to speak. And Kat decided that she wanted to disrupt the Met, considering it was where we last saw
Yeah.
her in New York. Before that she could get into truly a disruption, or at least a disruption that she could watch. Um, in her pack of goodies, she found another plane ticket and a note. Meet us in London at the new cafe. So off she sets towards London and the new London cafe. And when she sits down, she gets this feeling of deja vu. You do anything in particular?
Um, Being that it's just a feeling, she would probably like keep her guard up, but not actively like do something, you know? Just
Okay.
be like I kind of feel like that the feeling of the hair standing up on the back of your neck type of thing. But unless somebody is actively like moving towards her, she's probably not going to take any action.
Well, you don't recognize anyone familiar in the cafe, so there are no red flags from your server or your um well, anyone that you notice. Nobody looks familiar.
There's not like a
Um,
weirdly stylized A in the foam of her latte.
no, um, but instead of and you notice this time while you're drinking your drink that it doesn't feel as weird as the last time you were in this situation. You're you're still aware of all your surroundings, and when you finish, um, there really isn't anything that calls out to you saying that you should be here. So when you decide to leave and you walk around the block, you run into someone who just kind of is looking at you. He doesn't say much. He just kind of looks at you. But he starts following you. Do anything in particular?
Being militarily trained, she would probably not take aggressive action, at least not outright, but would kind of lead the person following her on a bit of a merry chase. I feel like maybe duck down a couple alleys or whatever. See if she couldn't like pick out exactly who was following her.
Okay. Um, Let me take a look at something real quick. Why? This one. Give me not that one. What's a good one here? Because you're out of here. Why don't you just give me
Okay.
a stealth check?
Uh oh, almost a natural 20. But that is a 25, 19 plus 6.
Okay. Um,
This is using cat stealth, right?
Andrew.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Why don't you give me an investigation check with your modern day character, please?
Alrighty. Investigation.
That'd be me.
Yeah, Andrew.
18.
Okay. So you've gotten away from your follower who is fairly upset with himself. But you ran into as you were losing your tail. You run into somebody you are well aware of. You run into that black-haired, thin woman that you ran into as a barista in New York just a few months prior. So, I see that you're getting better.
Or
Very
maybe
good.
you're just slipping.
Well, maybe. But he will, we'll talk about that in a minute. Come with me. She leads you around a couple blocks and closer to the Thames to well, you think it's a warehouse. It looks like a warehouse. And you get, again, that feeling of deja vu. And as she shows you into the newer hideout with a couple of chairs, recliners that you recognize instantly as the machine, the person who was following you walks into the room, and the servant just kind of looks at him and it just says, "John, you're kind of slipping."
Yeah, you can't win them all.
Well, at least we work as a team here. Kat, this is John. John is well, let's just say he helps little bit farther along than where you and your old friends do, where I hope to get you to. Maybe not today, but we got some work to do.
Is John currently wearing a hood, or is it more street clothes?
He would be wearing. He's got on like black like cargo pants with a black turtleneck, but over that he has like a gray like trench or like rain coat that's tied closed, and he's just keeping his hands in his pockets. There is a hood on the trench coat, but it's pulled back, so he's got like long black hair that's hangs probably just about shoulder length behind him, keeps it slick, like pulled back, and then probably from what you could tell, late 30s, and salt and pepper goatee.
Very nice.
Well,
no,
go ahead.
I was just going to fill the silence.
Well, I see that you have done well trying to block the news of the true cross, but that's nothing we need to worry about. We've taken care of that. There is something that we have been hearing that has us worried, though, that we need you to help us with.
Oh?
We're hearing news from the company that they're looking into the Crucius Goblin. Oh, goodness. John, I can't pronounce this. You're going to have to help me here. Besides, he's your family. The orb.
The Orbitus
Crucifix.
Crucifix.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the painting of Queen Elizabeth's coronation, but it's the ball with the cross that she's holding. We hear rumors that the company is trying to see if this one is the same as the one that King Richard III held during his reign. We're concerned that they might be on course to another artifact.
Another artifact like the cross?
Luckily for us, like similar, but not exactly. It's it's an orb. It's kind of palm size, about the size of a coconut. Small coconut. But we're concerned that they might be on track to find another one of these that we know they've already destroyed the one that Elizabeth had. We're concerned that if Richards is different, that they could be on track to find another one, and we can't have that. Luckily for us, we do know a little bit about the history. We're not going to jump you in blind. That's why you're the only one here. We found that your ancestor is the only one in this location at this time. What we have found is from Johnathan's DNA is that when King Richard III's when his brother died, and King Edward IV's son, his two sons, King Edward V and his brother Richard. No, I'm sorry, not Richard. Oh, what was the name of his brother? Oh, it was Richard. It was Shrewsbury. Sorry. They all name the same. They're just very confusing.
Maybe you should have whoever does your research for you put print it out for you so that you have it in front of you. I found that to be very useful when I was out on my missions.
Well, anyway, we have this problem about where we think the Duke of York and at that point King Edward V, they were locked in a tower and never heard from again. Well, what we have found, what we're worried is that was where King Richard III found his lovely bunch of coconut. And I need
it's
you...
actually the Globus cruciger.
Thank you, John. I will not be calling it that.
So faux apple.
Yeah. Well, faux apple, faux coconut. I'm going to get on a sidetrack just thinking on if they would know what a coconut is at this point. Anyway, what I need you to do is I need you to join with your ancestor as you did before, but this time through the memories of Johnathan's ancestor, and see if we can't figure out exactly what this artifact is and if we need to be concerned.
Okay. Sounds good. Y'all really are a comedic pair, aren't
let's yes. Yes, they with the other two in, well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but the two that really liven the bunch being in I think Massachusetts. Well, they're in North America. It kind of makes things dull and dry. But you should be used to that with ex-military.
It can't all be action movies.
Anyway, please sit in your chair and let's get started, shall we?
I'm sorry, you said this was what year again that we're going back to?
Well, we know that the boys were taken around April 29th, 1483.
So how would Rebecca be helping out with this?
Well, what we've found through the DNA that you had so graciously left us on your last visit is that Kat has some Spanish ancestry in her, one of which was one of the first members to work as, well, not as the ambassador, but work with the ambassador from Spain to England. That's how Kat is able to tie into this.
Gotcha.
Surprisingly, the only one from your last group to have any ancestry at this location at this time.
At least that would be useful to us.
Yeah, well. The question is, what did she see and what did she do that we need to know?
All right. So then Kat does take her seat and allow herself to get Matrix jacked in, right?
Yes. John, please sit in the open seat.
As he goes to sit down, you see him. He pulls a holster from his belt, sets it on a side table along with two knives, and then goes to take his seat. And just, he can never be too careful when you're in these things.
Is it one of those scenes where he just keeps pulling weapons out of like nowhere?
No, that's all that was in my inventory.
And as both of you see the world fall away and start to reform into a different version of London, one less industrialized, please take a Constitution saving throw.
As the modern or historical?
Modern.
Natural 20.
Oh, look at you.
Makes sense. John would be more experienced.
Yes.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the spectrum, with a natural 1 plus 3.
All right. So
what a way to start out.
I shouldn't have had that. I shouldn't have had that drink at the cafe. I now really have to pee.
Kat's going to take 2 points of exposure.
Oh,
All
You said
right,
2?
so let me open
3.
3. Let me open up this map. I think I'm going to open up the main map that I have saved. That way it's in a little bit higher resolution. Okay. So you would have been... I don't want to put you that close. Oh, no, that's fine. So Kat wakes up. She's a little bit, of course, disoriented, but she's noticed that she is in the docks. She's at the London docks. John has awoken, and he's kind of outside the city, but not very far outside the city. Actually, let's put him at St. James Cathedral. So if you were to look at the map at each other, you guys, if you were to draw a straight line from each other, you're across the Thames, one in the London docks, and one across the Thames. It's Thames. I hate pronouncing that one.
I'm pretty sure
And
you were
the other
right,
one,
that it's Tim's.
Thames.
And the other one is on Jamaica Row, right there at St. James Cathedral.
Is there a way to pull this map up larger than what it's given me?
That's a good question.
Or is it open original?
If you click the open original, it'll open it in the
go.
actual browser.
Yep.
But the quality I have
There we
is
go.
not very good. Like, I can't see street names or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I had to dumb it down for Discord. Let me
go by
see.
quadrant.
See if I can get. No, I know what I want to do. Where is my drive? Throw a copy in my drive and then send you both a link. Nope. Wait, is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Less than a minute.
I debated about trying a Spanish accent, but not.
I'm going in and out of an odd accent.
Yeah,
so.
I heavily debated, and I'm like, do I really want? I am a white ass guy. Like, do I really want to risk? I'm not a professional voice actor. I really probably shouldn't be trying to do this. At least not on a thing. I don't want to insult anybody. So I'm just.
If I'd spent time, I would have listened to some to try and. I tend to pick up accents. The problem is if I'm trying to do it just straight off, I end up mixing between like a mix of Great Britain dialects and like Aussie.
Yeah, if my character was going to be local to London in the time period, I would have been able to pull something out. But it made more sense for her to be Spain. Like I can do the I could speak Spanish in Spain.
There we go.
Like Spain style Spanish, which is with the slight lisp. But yeah, no, I'm gonna just keep it like straightforward, just because I don't want to risk mispronouncing something or saying something wrong. You know, I don't want to get myself or anybody else in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, so I found London docks. Where the heck's St. James?
So St. James, if you go almost directly south, probably 1 cube, you'll see the light blue. It's like highlighter, Jamaica Row Street.
Yeah.
St. James is a little bitty black
Okay,
square.
I found it. Yeah, I found it.
All right.
Ah, yes. Okay. So one of us is there and the other one is at the London dock?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
at the London dock.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all we're going to say about why you're there. Because you don't know.
And I'm just outside St. James sitting on a charger.
Yeah, we've replayed this memory enough that you should know an idea on why you're there, and you realize that you have gotten to you can only get so far without help.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to do?
Well, so I would have additional knowledge from having already visited this.
Right.
So I would, through my ancestors' contacts within the various embassies and such, I would know that somebody would be arriving at the docks that I should go meet.
Yes.
So I would end up probably, like, I was at St. James, just like
You were waiting to watch.
I was watching the docks and now return to my horse that I left at St. James.
Yep.
And then I would probably start working up Jamaica Row to
Oh, I did a dumb thing.
London Bridge to cross over the docks.
Because I put you guys way away from the bridge.
That's no worries. I mean, it's
just catch a cab.
Middle-aged London. It's only less. It's maybe half a mile to the dock or bridge.
And it. Okay. So, are you going to do anything? Since you're kind of lost and not sure what you know, the time period. You get an idea that you're at the docks because of what you're seeing. Is there anything in particular that you want to do before I'm just kind of waiting?
Well, like we established, my character does not know anything about where she currently, like, she doesn't know why her ancestor is where she is.
Correct.
So,
well, actually, before we get going, one thing that before you ask questions, you are Kat's smart enough to look at what she's wearing and what she looks. So why don't you describe your character to us?
She is Isabel is is about 5'6". She's approximately 25-ish in age. She has long black hair that she keeps braided into like a tight bun on the back of her head. She is incredibly athletic and with a Spanish complexion and hazel eyes. She has a tattoo on the left side of her face. And she wears a primarily white and leather brown with accents of red outfit. And she largely keeps a hood on her head, though, for a hood that's connected to like a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a cape, except it's like it's almost like a scarf around her shoulders that hangs down like a cape almost.
Would you call it a cloak?
Yes, thank you. That is exactly the word I was looking for. A cloak. And with a hood on it. Thank you. My brain just completely spaced on the word cloak. She has a rapier hanging at her hip and a bow and quiver slung to her back. She's very much wearing the style of clothing of the Brotherhood. But would Kat know that? I don't remember. Would Kat actually know that there's kind of a uniform except not?
She wouldn't know what the uniform would have been at this time.
Okay. But then that's for the audience to know. She's kind of dressed like the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Just as a note to help visualize this, I based her design, Isabel's design, very heavily off of the Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender in it. Which is why I was comfortable putting like a tattoo on her face and stuff like that. Because
Yeah, we're close there. We're 10 years off.
if we're in 83, yeah, about 9-ish years, yeah.
Okay, so now that we know what Isabel looks like, what do you?
Kat kind of looks at herself and says, "Well, at least I got style, and at least I'm in an area of the world that speaks English." She goes through her pockets a little bit to see if there's any hint to what her character is supposed to be doing, like if she has any like a folded piece of paper with an address on it or anything like that. Any hint to like what she's supposed to be doing and where she's supposed to be going.
She finds a note that states that she has a meeting, a secret meeting. Well, it doesn't say that it's a secret meeting. She says that to arrive at London Bridge on at the beginning of May, and to sit under the corner at along the Thames at London Bridge. That she is to meet with a English representative of the Brotherhood.
Okay. So she's gonna is there is there a tall structure I can climb to the top, climb outside the building to the top of to get my bearings?
What is that? That says basin, so that's not going to work.
Yeah, those are.
I was going to say there should be. You can. I wouldn't go there. I was going to say there should be a. There it is. I believe that's St. George's Church, just to the north of the docks. That should be tall enough for you to get your bearings.
I would like to climb. I would like to scale the external of this church in order to get to the highest point, in order to get maybe a to get my bearings and find where I would need to go to get to London Bridge.
Let's just do a dexterity check.
Okay. Using Isabel's stats. That is a straight dexterity is a 23. 18 plus 5.
Okay. You have absolutely no problem scaling this this church. You kind of the stones almost feel like the stones that you used to climbing in Spain.
Fair. Almost like there's an intentionally created path up the side of the building with a
almost
with a nice perch that birds land on at the top.
Yep. And once you get to the top, you're just kind of scanning, and you can see some major landmarks of London at the time. You see the Tower of London just east, west of the docks. And then just a little bit farther west of the tower, you see this bridge that you assume is the bridge that you're looking for because of all the traffic that's on it.
Okay. I look for a quick way down, and barring that, I will climb my way down and make my way.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you another check on that one. That's just mean. Oh no, you slipped 5 feet away. You fell. You hurt yourself. No, we're not. We won't do that.
10 feet minimum damage.
Well, yes. Like she could twist her ankle. You don't know.
Not me with kind of being like, oh, darn, there's not a leap of faith stack of hay.
Not here. Most of everything that's going on in the dock is just all sealed up, ready to go onto shipping containers.
Very fair.
And
so, yeah, I'm going to carefully Also, to be fair, I don't think Kat would be knowledgeable enough about assassins, or sorry, the Brotherhood,
Oh,
to know about a leap of faith.
I also don't think Kat's crazy enough to
Yeah, no.
jump.
So yeah, no, she climbs carefully down the. Oh, it was going to be fun. Oh well, she climbs her way down the building. I I feel like
So
she does take
go
a
ahead.
look over the edge and is just like, oh, that'd be cool if this was a video game, but nah, I'm not going to risk it, and just like climbs her way down slowly.
Well, the thing about that is she also remembers what happened when oh, who was it
Oh
that died?
right. I don't remember.
Oh no, someone
One of her
they're gonna
comrades had
they're gonna hear
one of
this,
one of. It's been a while. It has been a while.
and we had
I forgot to. I've
oh,
had a
goodness.
long few days, so I have not had a chance to actually rewatch at all. So I don't remember really anything other than like
What?
the
Oh,
important beats.
it was Christoph's. Oh goodness, what was the name
Uh,
of Christoph's
would the
character?
characters still be in the campaign?
Chris, well, I'm taking a look to see if the name of their edited person was. That's MP3. So, oh, Florine de Burgundy, because she fell off the wall
That's right.
and then she died in a final
Right.
stand. And Kat remembers what happened to that. Chris wasn't really the same when he came back out of the
Right.
machine. So she wouldn't make that jump thinking, well, if it's going to kill me, I don't want to end up
fair.
like that.
That's fair. This is not a video game. I don't want to get messed up. Yeah, I'm just gonna climb down. So yeah, she climbs down and then makes her way over to the bridge.
It just so happens that as you are getting to not that one. Well, you're coming out in front of Fishmonger's Hall right there by the London Bridge, and you just kind of turn and sit when you see a well, he looks like a gentleman. He's high up in his horse, and his back is straight, and he's just slowly trotting along. And he just kind of gives you this odd look, kind of like he knows who you are, even though you don't know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, what you would see is a gray, like, war horse. The man sitting on his back appears to be young, maybe 20s, early 20s. He's got leatherback chainmail on, but no headgear of any kind. He's got black hair, almost similar, maybe a younger version of the man John you had met almost. He's got a cloak, and which is pinned at the neck, and on the pin is a set of arms.
Okay. Is it a
One moment.
No, it's a specific set.
I'm gonna post it here. And then on just barely, you can see on his left hip is looks like a long sword, but seems shorter with an extended hilt. It's a hand and a half, and then there's a crossbow that's behind his saddle hanging. He just kind of gives you a studious kind of look up and down, and slight hint of recognition, maybe.
For those listening, the coat of arms it's got a couple phoenixes on it. It's got a couple dragons. It's crowned. It's It's one that, if you know the history of the time period, would belong to the Earl of Rivers,
and
the
the
Woodville
Woodvilles.
family.
Yep. Yeah, he just kind of, after that fleeting look of recognition, is just, would you by chance be a traveler who just recently arrived today from our southern neighbors?
Isabel just kind of cocks her head to the side and looks you up and down with this, kind of trying to judge how capable you are of wielding that sword you have on your hip. And then she just kind of nods and says, with an era and location appropriate accent that the player of the character is not even going to attempt, says, yes.
Is she saying this in English or in
The
her
initial
native tongue?
yes would probably be in the native tongue of than in Spanish, but then she would carry on in English. And
does Kat know any other language besides English?
yes,
I don't remember.
Kat is actually. Let me double check my notes on Kat. She is. Yes, Kat would know some Spanish, as she has Puerto Rican ancestry, and a more recent Puerto Rican ancestry, but also obviously, yeah. So yeah, she would know at least some Spanish. Maybe.
Okay, so just seeing her go see makes
yes.
sense. Okay.
I would just look down and also just and traveler, if I may, what is truth?
Ooh, I'm gonna need the DM's help on that, because player knows the answer. Would Kat? Or would I feel like Isabel would know, but would Kat know the answer?
Actually, let's do a history check.
History is an intelligence thing, so that would be Kat's history.
Yes.
Uh, 11.
Okay. And then roll a d6 for me.
5.
Okay, so that's Kat is able to understand the riddle and what the answer is by the data that she's getting from the Animus through Isabel. But unfortunately, she's going to take 3 points of exposure.
I'm already almost equal to the exposure I got from Rebecca. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, you got really you did really well with that one.
So yes,
I think you were the lowest on that. But
yes, with Rebecca I only got a +7, and I think everybody else was in the double digits.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in a moment of almost desynchronization between Kat and Isabel, Isabel replies saying, nothing is true.
So you would say it is a lie, then?
You can continue with it without doing any more rolls.
I'm just trying to think of how I want to phrase this.
Okay.
I would personally say that a lie is that nothing being true does not mean that it is a lie. It means that it is based in one's own perception. However, I was my brain is going, no, come on, work. um, sorry, my brain keeps Alt F4ing in the middle of a thought.
You're put on the spot, and it's like, oh
It's
no!
It's like someone saying, "Hi, what's your name?" and me going, "Who am I?" Shoot. Literally, my brain is just shouting, "Nothing is true. Everything is permitted," over and over and over again, and it's like that's not helpful. I think honestly, I feel like she just kind of leaves it with what she said about her personal view, and just at the very least to see what happens, if for no other reason than to let the player not have to think anymore.
He just nods and goes, "Silence is sometimes the wisest answer." And then he gets down off the horse and grabs the reins and extends a hand.
She extends her the appropriate hand. You didn't say which hand you extended, so she extends the appropriate hand, and I'm assuming shakes your hand.
In his case, I would say like there's an awkward moment because he would just grip like the fingers.
Fair.
Due to just the inherent noble like background of the way
fair.
Things are feeling.
Very fair. However, I feel like Isabel would be very much, no, I'm your friend, shake my hand.
It's that awkward moment where someone wants to do one of those special handshakes and you're like, what?
At least he didn't go for a hand kiss. Might have ended up with a fist in the face. I don't know.
I don't know if they did
roll damage. No. Roll initiative between the two player characters.
That was a fast story.
So this is how this guy died in history, right? No. I will also say that now that you're this close to her, and you're shaking her hand, you will probably note on her left wrist the.
Hold on, before you go there, give me a perception check.
All right.
Fair.
As historical.
Perception falls under
wisdom. Perception is wisdom.
Wisdom. No, as the
player.
Modern day character.
Okay. And you said perception.
Yep.
Yay. Those were my dump stats.
Not me over here just assuming that because of the character's history so far.
18.
18? Okay. So you can continue. He will notice it.
Yeah, just to clarify, I was over here just assuming that between the past character and the modern character, how he's been presented to me, that he would just notice it inherently. So good catch. I wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah, on the left, on her left wrist, you do note a very recognizable gauntlet on her left wrist.
And this gauntlet clues you in on this is the person that you had written a few weeks ago.
Well, I must say it's glad that I was able to find you so quickly. Streets are rather busy after all.
Big city.
As you two are sitting in a almost sort of an embrace, as you separate, you see a pair of guards come around the corner of the fishmonger's hall, and one of them just kind of squints a little bit and goes, "Hey, oi, I know that sigil. You're not supposed to be here." And they draw their swords. Roll for initiative.
Mm-hmm. That's historical?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
God. 5. I get a bad roll, 2 good rolls, and a bad roll.
That's how it goes, though. Mine is actually a dirty 20.
Okay. That means you go first.
Okay, so Isabel, as if by instinct rather than conscious action, I feel like she kind of just disappears into the shadow a little bit, you know? And so I would like to, basically, putting it in D&D terms, I would like to use my action to hide.
Okay. Is that everything? Just hide in this round?
Well, I would have to roll a stealth check.
Yes. But yeah, go ahead
and then other than that, I will of course draw my. Yeah, I'll draw my bow and get it ready for an attack. But at this point, I just kind of want to wait and see what happens.
Okay. So why don't you give me that that stealth roll?
Yeah. And hold on, I'm just double checking something. It's been a minute since I've played the ranger class. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah. Rangers do not get to bonus action hide. So yeah, no. It's yeah, okay. So stealth is a 21.
Okay, you have absolutely no problem with your hiding. The 2 guards look at your companion and they just go, "Where'd your friend go?" "No matter. You're the one we're looking for anyway. And come with us." And they just kind of approach. Jeez. What's your AC?
16.
And they come closer, but they're not able to get a hold of you. They look like they're kind of slow, and like their mind isn't really contemplating how lucky they are to have found you.
I mean,
Your
also
turn.
depending on the time of day, maybe maybe they just got out of a pub or something.
So I'm actually going to like quickly just slap my horse on the rear and send it at one of the guards while drawing my sword to engage the other one.
Okay.
I need to go to. How far away are they?
I would say that at this point, after their turn, they're let's say within 10 feet.
Okay. Oh, and of course I don't actually have the thing up for horses. So I'm just going to say I'm using the horse as as a distraction as opposed to an actual like weapon.
Okay.
So I send the horse like craning at them, draw my sword, and move in to make attack on the one on the right.
Okay.
And that is going to be a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
For 9 damage.
Why don't you describe the action for us? He's not in good. He's not in good shape after your attack.
I draw and just quickly and like deftly just step in with a quick thrust. While he's surprised, like right down into the hip.
Okay.
And then draw back to ready for another attack on my next turn.
All right. That brings us back to Isabel.
Following her companion's lead, she is going to attempt the non-lethal route and pull from her. She has this bag on her hip that I may have forgotten to mention, but she'll reach into that bag and pull out I forget the word for it, but it's is it called a bola? I think it's a thing
Yep.
2 balls on a
she kind of it's a little device that she has rudimentarily crafted that it combines that makes a bola able to be shot through a bowstring from a bow, basically. And mechanically, I'm essentially casting Ensnaring Strike on my next attack. But magic, not D&D. I mean, D&D magic versus not Assassin's Creed. So she.
As long as you have a realistic way of making it work.
Yep.
So she kind of affixes this device to her arrow and makes an attack with her bow. You said they were 10 feet away previously 10 feet away from the companion. And since she stepped away to hide, she's probably still not in melee range with him, correct?
Yeah, I would agree with
that. I'm going to make a longbow attack against them using the Ensnaring Strike.
Okay. Now, is that
So how it works for the Ensnaring Strike, I cast the spell and my next weapon attack ensnares the target, essentially. The target must, if the attack succeeds, the target must make a strength saving throw or be restrained.
Okie dokie.
All right.
What do you got?
So to hit is math. It's math is what it is. 16 plus 9 is
that
okay.
Hit. That's
the ancient math stones.
And it does. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. That was a misclick. It does still do damage.
Yep.
And so let me go ahead and roll for. Sorry, I'm reading this as I'm doing.
Are you attacking the? That's fine. Are you attacking the one that was just stabbed, or
I'll attack the other one so that they can't. Because it seems like he's directly engaged with the one. The other one, I don't want him getting double teamed, essentially. So I will try to remove the one that has not already been attacked.
Okay.
So yeah, longbow damage is 1d8 plus 5. Oh no. Again, I'm going for non-lethal here. So if his hit point hit 0, I want him unconscious, please. Oh. So yeah, I say that because I just rolled max damage.
So 8 plus 5 is 12?
Yeah. No, 13. 13.
Oh, 13. So he's at -2.
Thematically, can we say that
if you
I could
specify under the rules,
and he failed his. So yeah, he's entrapped. He's prone. He's just not able to move. You can't tell if he's dead or just unconscious.
Maybe he hit his head as he fell over.
Yeah.
Okay. I really am trying to go non-lethal. Anyway.
No, so long as you specify under the rules, it will stop at 0 hit points.
So he...
unless you hit them with like a super
if you double their hit points, then you're in trouble. But so that's my action, my bonus action. For my movement, I'm going to, since I can't re-hide, I'm going to mechanically I'm actually going to essentially like be like make it look, basically make a threatening motion, essentially threatening stance, not motion, stand, kind of come out from the shadows with my bow and arrow ready, on the remaining guard, just kind of be like, I got you next, man. Kind of.
Well, that remaining guard just kind of screams in pain and anger, and he rears back with his spear. Do you have your shield out?
I do not have a shield.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you had a shield or not.
Nope.
So he just kind of does this thrust, but because you have impaled his thigh, he's got no support, and he just kind of stumbles forward about 2 feet and move instead of like spearing you. He ends up having to use it to stabilize himself to keep from falling over. That makes it your turn.
All right, 22 to hit.
Okay,
it was almost nat 20.
Not quite crit.
All right, so I'm basically, as he's steadying himself, I quick step back, draw the sword back out, do a reverse, and just come down with the pommel. I'm assuming he's wearing a helm, like one of the bucket helms or whatever. And I'm going for non-lethal because I'm not trying to kill him, because he's just a guard, and from what I know from replaying the memories, I'm not necessarily wanted. It's more there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to end up screwing things up. So I just come down and just crack him right on the top of the helm for 6 damage from the pommel.
He drops just like a sack of rocks. He drops, and both guards are now lying prone.
So that's it. We won the campaign, right?
I'm just going to do a quick scan, make sure nobody else, like no other guards are coming right at the moment, and begin sheathing my sword.
What do you have? What is your passive investigation?
9.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Those were my dump stats for that character.
It would be
it
was 17.
And is that using your modern day investigation?
No.
Use your modern day investigation.
That's intelligence and wisdom. We use our moderns.
Yeah, I forgot. So that would be a dirty 20.
Okay. At this point, you've noticed a few people step out of the fishmonger's. I keep calling it the fishmonger's hut. It's the fishmonger's hall, and they just kind of they see what's going on, and they just turn right back inside, like they don't see what they saw.
We weren't here. You weren't here. Nobody was here. Snitches get stitches.
Yes.
Also, for theming, can I say that when talking to, what was your noble rank, Duke?
He's an Earl.
When talking to the Earl initially, when we were shaking hands, the hood was down. But as soon as the guards showed up and I dipped into the shade, I pulled up the hood. So the hood is currently up, just for, drama.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense that Isabel would do that, or Kat would do that.
But
so I guess, what do you guys do next? What do you guys do now?
So
there's where the confusion is. It's like, as the historical character, there's plenty of things I'd love to do, but being as a player in the body, just like.
So the special, the thing about your modern day character is they do know what has happened to the historical character at this point, because you've relived this memory up till almost up until this point. So if you want to explain a little bit of what you know, that makes sense, because that'll also that knowledge will impart to help decide what the modern day character would do.
With my investigation check, would I notice any open carts with hay bales or hay piles or carts of fish?
You would absolutely see open fish stalls,
like storage, not necessarily for shopping.
Correct.
So I'm just gonna grab one, start dragging him over to throw him into one of them. And hope that she gets the
as you're doing that, Isabel is going to kind of gesture at the one who's all gift wrapped and be like, is there any information we need to get out of them, or
well, you can search them if you want. I just figure these are probably rather low level guards, but not a bad idea, I guess.
So by your demeanor, does that mean that you know why they were looking for you?
Well, I'd say let's clean up the mess before we have this discussion.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, we're in the middle of the open here, and if anybody else happens along...
That is a very good point. I would like to check on the guard that I gift wrapped quite neatly. And sorry, I just made myself choke on my own spit, because I forgot that I had a feat that would have made a crit very nasty. Sorry. Anyway, I was gonna check on the guy. I was checking on him. Is he alive?
Let's take a look. Why don't you give me a medicine check?
Okay, that is a wisdom thing, so I would be using Kat.
It's a wisdom score. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same. Interesting. 13.
You can feel a slight pulse.
Okay. Being satisfied, but he is unconscious. Like, if I reclaimed my bola.
Yeah, like he looks like he's asleep, and you see a lump starting to form around on his head.
Okay. All right, cool. Then, so I am going to apologize to him. Reclaim.
You leave a note?
No, I'm just you know how when they're dead, when they're dead, the Brotherhood is just like Requiescat and Pace. Right. She's just gonna be like, sorry, and just kind of remove the bola and then like carry him over and dump him into the fish thing. Actually, could I like slip a few coins into his pocket as an apology?
I mean, okay, if you want to.
I'm gonna do that. Like, just be like, I know you're just doing your job. I'm sorry. Here, hopefully this will, help with any medical charges. Or at least buy you a nice cup of tea or something. um,
Yeah, I don't think he would be on his mind at that point.
No, but still.
Anyway, okay, continue.
I would end up like going over and fetching my horse and then just like gesturing towards like an alley off the main road just so we can get into some kind of cover.
Okay.
Would I know of any kind of a safe house or a safe location in this area? How much would Isabel know? Yes, I'm towing that exposure line again.
Isabel would know where where they would be considering putting the embassy, and would know that would be safe enough for conversations like this. Anyway, so you guys you guys have made it to what is essentially being scouted for the Spanish ambassador's home. Maybe not necessarily where he'll be working, but where he plans on living.
Which means that I would probably have my own little space here.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll making sure that we stick to the shadows and stuff. I will.
Did you give me that history roll yet?
Shoot. I rolled it, then didn't give you the number. History for Kat is a dirty 20, 18 plus 2.
Okay, so at least you rolled that high. Now give me a good D6. No, actually, give me a D4 because of that high of a roll. Let's go D4.
I also have a big D100, golf ball sized thing if you need me to roll that ever.
I want one of those, to be honest.
My only problem with it is that it's not, the numbers on it aren't red, and the store that I got it from didn't have red. Because red, my whole thing is I'm the Crimson Knight.
You're right, yeah.
So it makes me sad that it wasn't red. That's a 1 on a D4.
Well, good for you. So you take 1 point of exposure.
Oops. So I am now even with Rebecca.
Yes. Okay, so you guys have made it to the ambassador's home. What do you do?
I would say I'd follow you in, and then
I would probably have my own have scouted my own stealthy way in and out. Because
yes, there would absolutely be hidden entrances and exits to your living quarters.
So would it be possible for me to roll a group stealth check for both him and I? Or something like that? Or would you say no roll is necessary?
Yeah, that's fine. No, actually, no roll is necessary. I don't think that's necessary here.
Yeah, I don't think you want me to roll stealth with my historical character.
No.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
Chainmail sucks.
So yeah, I do lead him in to where I know would be a safe place to talk openly. And once we are there, I would say that it's a kind of a Spartan, basically there's a cot, a couple of very plain wooden chairs, and a small table with a lamp on it. And she just kind of is like, okay, so want to explain?
On walking in, he would undo his sword belt and just kind of drape, hang it from the back of a chair and then have a seat. So at this current point in time, my ancestor is recently appointed the Earl of Rivers, and my brother and my cousin my brother being the predecessor, was recently arrested. The Lord Protector is making a bid for power. My nephews have been locked in the Tower of London to await the coronation of Edward V. And my guess is that Richard, the Lord Protector, has probably put word out to keep an eye out for anybody of the Woodville family skulking around while he's doing whatever he is doing. Yeah.
So this is actually a question that I need the DM to remind me of, because I do not recall how. I know that it is Kat inside of Isabel's body, but would Kat have recognized this man before this moment? Would Kat have recognized this man as the person that as John?
She would have recognized a little bit of the features because they look very similar, and like you could see that that there is a slight familial resemblance.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Kat, through Isabel's face, is going to be like, I see. So then what is our next step?
So based on our prior stuff, what we know is that there may or may not be an apple in with Edward V. DM?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Where you just kind of hear in above your head, then you go, it sounds like a servant is like, yes, we're worried about the coconut, so to speak, being in the Tower of London, and we fear that Edward is making a play for it, or Richard is making a play for it with against his nephew.
I would look at and just as far as we've gotten in the memory so far was meeting on the bridge. This is all new. Historically, from our own research, there's really not a lot on my ancestor at this point, so we haven't been able to unlock anything further, which is why I think we needed you here to progress. From my own thoughts, I don't know how far this is going to go historically, but I would almost think we need to get into the tower to try and find Edward and his brother. That would be my thought.
Enough. So just the simple task of breaking into the Tower of London. You want us to steal the Declaration of Independence while we're at it?
No, that was last week.
So, do we have an idea on what we're doing now, or have you agreed on?
We're stealing the Declaration of Independence,
what
right?
Needs to be hub.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Ahmet's going to be so mad she missed this.
We're breaking into the Tower of London. Yes.
Scope things out.
So, do you guys want to talk about how, or do you want to just fast forward?
Well, either we got to scope it out and get an idea of the lay of the land, or maybe play my ancestors' position to an advantage.
I would actually I know this is probably the last minute to include this recommendation, but we could take a page. How we do this? We could take a page out of the Blades in the Dark system.
Oh, with
The
the
flashbacks.
memory. Yeah,
So like we could
flashbacks.
just balls to the wall go in and then flash back to how we prepared for the thing if you wanted to. But that's up to the DM to decide. I'm fine regardless. It was just an idea that popped in my head just now.
I think the best thing to do is to just kind of move forward and go into basically, let's fast forward to a more recent memory.
Okay.
Basically, when your memory is fast forwarded to, you come to your two characters standing on top of the Royal Mint, overlooking the tower and the inner wall, the outer wall, the moat, and you really only see one dry way in, being the bridge on the what they call I think it's called the Trader's Bridge.
The West End.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take two of those. And you don't see, like, it looks like it's kind of in the middle of a shift change, because because you only see one guard walking along the ramparts.
Do you want me to help you out with that? You could have it be groups of guards that you just rolled.
Well, I legitimately only rolled a 1, so it doesn't matter if it's one
group of guards.
Yeah, that's fine. One group of 3. That's fine.
We're trying to be nice to the DM.
Is this at night?
My goodness gracious, I can't roll.
Maybe you should have us roll for your for the NPCs.
That should help.
Or you could roll for each.
Oh, that's
side
true.
Of the,
also, there's the element of insight.
Right. So you're only seeing you see the bridge, but you only see one group between you and the bridge. That's all you really see. And that's really all that you see. You don't hear a lot of commotion coming out of the mint. It's later at night, and it seems like if there were going to be more people out, it would be you're kind of in that hour where you'd either have needed to have been in 6 hours earlier or 6 hours later.
Well, there's always the straightforward approach in which we just get ourselves arrested. Said in character, by the way.
They bring common criminals here.
Yeah.
My thought was trying to sneak you in while I play on my position.
But if you walked into the Tower of London, wouldn't, because of the fact that guards were looking for you, wouldn't you just get arrested anyway?
Well, from the study we have, is my ancestor wasn't actually punished by the Lord Protector.
Yeah.
So my thought was I could play up on that of I've been given permission, say, to visit my nephew or something as an act of good faith by the Lord Protector.
I mean, we could.
Meanwhile, you with all your stealth could then be giving me Overwatch.
I mean, why go for lying when we could maybe go knock on his door and see if we can't convince him to actually give us permission to go see your ancestor's relative. Like, what's our timeline here? She's asking. She's like,
you said beginning of May, right?
Yeah.
Like, how quickly are we wanting this done? Like, are we wanting it done by morning, or like, do we have a few days to mess with this?
I don't know. I was hoping. I'm thinking maybe a quick in and out would be our best opportunity. From what we know of history, who knows how long we have? They only just got here. My question historically: what part of the beginning of May are we at? because when they arrived, it was the 4th of May, and Edward was put into the bishop's apartments and then was shortly moved later at Buckingham's suggestion to the actual main tower.
I would say somewhere around the 4th. That'd be fine with me.
And he's on his own right now in May because his brother wasn't brought there until later.
When was the Duke of Salisbury brought in? Because I thought they came in at the same time.
In June.
Okay.
The Queen was tricked into handing him over in like June. Yeah, it looks. Yep, he was handed over on the 16th
June
of June.
16th. Yep. All right. And then Richard was crowned on July, so that's probably around the time the boys were gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
well, if this is a quick in and out job,
essentially,
and you're wanting us to be done, and it's the sooner the better, then we should probably forego the front door option entirely
and just take the back. The problem is based on our information from our historical checks, we're going to have to ascertain whether he's in the bishop's quarters or in the actual tower. So the problem is, I don't know of any with the moat. I don't know of an easy way outside of coming in from the Thames, and then we got to work through the entire complex to get to that building. Because there is a river access.
True.
Over on the map, it'd be by 41.
Right.
We
could. Well. It's at this point that Kat's just like, God, I miss my smartphone. Just hack my way into their system. Give us permission to be there.
This isn't Watch Dogs.
Oh, no. Generic hacktivist group. Generic unnamed hacktivist group.
Yeah. I mean, we could try to scale the walls, but we'd still have the problem of the moat.
And getting across the moat without being seen. DM, I would like to take a reconnaissance run around the perimeter of the walls, just to see if I can note any potential, not breachable, but climbable ways, like any potential paths over or through the walls that are not necessarily obvious.
Okay, why don't you give me first a stealth check to see if you were caught, and then an investigation
stealth
check.
Would be with Isabel, and the investigation would be with Kat.
So there's just no way in there.
Yeah, it looks like there's two landward entrances on the east and west.
Oh, yep, I see it now.
I think the one on the east would be a good one to look at.
Yep. Yep, and then the one on the south, that's your...
the water entry.
It's the water entrance. Isn't it the main entrance now?
Might be. Because the Thames is lower.
I mean, it looks like it based on the other image. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. I mean, it's all...
Mm-hmm.
I think we need a trip to London.
We can just finance a quick trip to for business expenses, right? Business expense, a trip to London for the three of us,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So okay. So stealth check using Isabel's stats. 18 plus 7.
Okay, so you're not getting caught with this. So what is your investigation?
The investigation was with Kat because intelligence. 16.
Okay, so why don't you give us a description on what your route is,
Okay, so
on how you do your investigation.
we probably, well, not we, Kat, being from the military in the modern day, um, she would know how to essentially case a joint, um, and uh, so she wouldn't want to get too close, right? Because the minute you lose uh the building cover is the minute you start to stand out. So she would probably go from as best she can from rooftop to rooftop, looking for anything that would stand out as a potential um like path up the walls, essentially. Like maybe there's some loose bricks or something like that. Um but she would kind of do like if you look at the city map around the tower, she'd probably like where that red highlighter is, she'd probably start there and then go around to the north and then back around to the uh east.
So from in front of the Royal Mint, working your way counterclockwise around like Tower
Yeah,
Hill and
basically, yeah.
and okay, okay. So on your route around the building, you don't see a lot from like scalable um, like handholds. Once you get around to the southwest corner, you kind of look at a couple darker bricks, but you can't. It looks like it's just too far away from the internal ground that it makes it unlikely that you would be able to get through there unnoticed. When you get around to the southeast of the tower of the complex, you notice one little tower. Now the door is drawn shut, but you can make out a handhold around the northern side of the tower, and you don't see any guards on this tower. But it's clear that you could climb
Okay.
without an
The
issue.
problem would be at that point would be to just get to there.
You easily get back to the Royal Mint at the northeast corner, so it's just a matter of going down the east side of the building. You could probably get there without being seen. The problem that you might run into is that it's not
Right.
just you.
All right, so I catch my companion up on what I've found. The
You're talking that southeast bridge tower.
Yeah,
Okay.
the land tower.
I could. I mean, it would be feasible to me that I would have some rope in my little bag of tricks. So I could.
Okay.
And I mean, if we're talking D&D stuff, everybody gets a 50-foot of hempen rope, right? So in theory, I could tether myself to. I'm sorry, I've forgotten what your past character's name is.
I don't think I ever gave it.
I don't think you did either.
Richard Woodville.
Good old Dickie over here. No, Isabel could could tether herself to Richard, and then to ensure that he doesn't necessarily fall. You know, basically, mechanically would be giving him the help action potentially for climbing if you would allow that. Essentially,
I'd be. I mean, I'm okay with how that works. The tower you're looking at is the labeled as 31 on the Tower London map, so it's the known as Devlin Tower.
wait, really?
My thought is,
Or, yeah, Develin.
That's hilarious to me because Kat's last name is Devlin.
Yep.
It's fate. I feel like we have to go this route now.
well, I was going to say is from like where I'm at, is there any kind of, because they were still doing work, is there any kind of construction going on in that area? Any scaffolding, anything of that sort?
There is some kind of loose scaffolding that you can see on the top of the tower itself. So it looks like they're still trying to finish that tower or finish the repairs that they're making on that tower.
I just still wonder about like having Kat try to sneak in while I just try to bluff, because like I have a signet ring, I can forge documents, and even then the guards probably can't even read anyways.
How
like not necessarily bluff my way into the entire complex, but at least like get in the front door and then go from there,
I would like to I Richard up and down and just kind of,
I mean, otherwise I probably could climb. My stealth is bad, but my athletics is an acrobatics.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because I was basically like, could Kat kind of like discern on a scale of maybe like 1 to 20 what this man's climbing ability would be. But so like the stealth part of actually getting to the climbable spot is the problem, right? It's the actual climbing should not be an issue. Okay. All right. So then how would we get across the moat?
Let me look at something here.
Do we want to take a page out of Jack Sparrow's book?
Well, my other thought is, if I take my chainmail off, I'm fine. I have fine clothing. Or, well, I have clothes, so, I mean, I could always take it off and stow it.
Runs around in the buff. That's true. You could stow it, and then we could take a minute once you're back on the other side to put it back on.
Yeah, once we're on the
yeah, and you wouldn't want to get the chainmail wet anyway, because that would be bad. That would cause rust and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's my thought, is lose the chainmail until we get inside to some place where I can safely put it.
And as long as we
have and just pack it up in a
as long as we take that intention, then we should be fine. Because like I can always help you put the chainmail back on so that you don't, so it doesn't take too long.
And if not,
and if not, then
yeah, I'll lose the chainmail for now. And we'll see whether I manage to get it inside intact or not.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, out of player curiosity, without the disadvantage, what is your stealth score?
I got a +3.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a +3 at disadvantage if I wear the armor.
All right. Okay. So.
And I only drop down to 13 armor class.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not like. Again, it's not like I couldn't like protect you and cover you for a bit while you get rearmored.
So yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go with this plan. I would say I would end up like wrapping it up in like my, what would you call it? Like an oiled cloak.
Yeah.
At that time, and then just basically strap it on my back.
Yeah. To be clear, the reason why I'm not like saying your idea is not a good one, like the forged documents and stuff. I just think that with the heat that's currently on you, unless you actually did have actual permission from, I forget the title you said, unless you actually had that permission.
Well, the only reason I was going that route is I wasn't even thinking about the fact I could just take the freaking chainmail off. I'm like, I've got chainmail. Oh wait, I could just take it off.
It is fused to my body. My chainmail is piercings that cover my entire torso.
Exosuits. Yeah. So would we have to get wet to take this route?
No, I don't
Well-
think so. Not based on the model that you put in Discord.
And I mean, even if we did have to
Cool.
get wet, we could take.
Where were the guards we saw?
Because based on this this model route, you come in at Devlin Tower, and you go across a bridge, and then you're past the moat, and the inner and outer wall are all on the same spit of land.
Yep. And the wall's really where we want to be if we want to try and maneuver.
Yeah.
Because if going through the buildings, that's super risky, and then trying to sneak through courtyards.
Yeah.
So I think we'd want to work that outer
probably.
wall.
And you said there is a bridge that we could climb
through.
across on the outside of, right?
Yeah, between Devlin Tower and
The main complex.
the tower that's on the main part of the land. Yeah.
I need to go check on something real quick. Can we take another? All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd
Cool.
need
Cool.
one.
Cool. Yep. Be back in a bit.
Yep. Here we go. So let me make sure I understand the plan here. You guys are just gonna walk into the Tower of London, or you're planning on sneaking in on the southeast
Okay, so
corner?
to recap, we are going. The plan-ish was we were going to. Remember in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, when in order to get into the I'm blanking on the castle that the Pope was living in, Ezio had to climb along the side.
Angelo.
Yes, the Sant'Angelo. He had to climb along the side of the bridge to get across the river to get to the castle. Yep. I was kind of thinking along those lines of we would climb and or parkour along the sides of the bridge to get to the tower and then climb the wall. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. Okay. So then let's give a well, let's go with, let me take I'm thinking we can do either acrobatics or athletics. It's your choice.
How much of the bridge itself is parkourable?
On the outside?
Are there you remember the bridge to across the Sant'Angelo? There was all those poles and the little lands that he could grand on and things like that. How much of it is like that, and how much of it is there just it's just a bridge?
That's why I asked about construction, like scaffolding or anything like that.
Me a let's see. Give me a perception check.
I have expertise in that. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. So you don't see anything in the water, but what you can tell is you can see handholds on the outside of the bridge going between the towers.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm going to take that rope from my bag of tricks that we established would probably be there. And with consent from John/Richard, tie the rope around his waist and then around my waist, so that if either of us screws up, then there's the then the other could potentially be an anchor. Assuming that he consents.
Yep.
As consent is
Yeah, that's fine.
important. Would you like me to roll anything in regards to the rope?
No, I think right
Okay.
now I think you're good.
And then I guess we begin the. I think I'll go with athletics because that makes more sense, given the situation.
Okay.
Need me to do a roll?
Yeah, if you're going to be latched to him and following along, you need to do this. Either athletics
I'm going to
or
use acrobatics.
acrobatics.
Jeez. Even with a +5, it was a 9.
Did you just
I
squeal?
just squealed because that's a natural 20. But so I was excuse me, when I asked about the rope before, I mentioned some mechanically using the help action, which gives the person you're helping advantage on the roll.
Advantage, right?
Is that applicable here?
Okay.
Or what would you say, DM?
What did he roll?
I rolled a 9 for with a
Yeah,
+5.
yeah, you could take advantage on that with your help, especially with a with
24.
nat
But
20.
yeah, so nat
Okay.
20 for
I rolled a 19.
yeah, with with the nat 20 the total number is 26.
As we as the pair of you are latched together, going hand to hand, or not hand to hand, but handhold to handhold, side by side, it feels like just almost a normal day at the office, and you get past the bridge, and then you have this option to where you're at this point to where you could either climb over the bridge to try to get into a door that is probably shut, based on your knowledge of the time period, or you can continue to go horizontal or towards the outer wall, or you can go vertical and try to climb the Devlin Tower.
I look over at John Richard and Richard John, and I'm like, I think we should go up. What do you think?
I'd concur on that so that we can try and get a closer lay of the land from the top of that tower.
Alrighty, so up we go.
Based on your previous rolls, I'm not going to make you roll again, at least not for this one. So you climb straight up, and every handhold it feels like it's meant, the spacing is just meant for your height and build, and you get to the top of the tower, and you do a look around, and I need an investigation check.
Five.
Investigation using modern day character.
Yep.
Is a not bad 15.
Okay. So what Johnathan sees is just the one group of 3 soldiers at the northern part of the wall. What Kat is looking at is kind of more towards the courtyard, towards the tower, and she sees she sees 2 groups of 5 soldiers each of the courtyard. So if you're looking at the south end of the tower, there's the edge of the old Roman wall that it separates. There's a courtyard between that and the inner wall, and you see one group in there. And then on the other side, towards what is considered the wall of the innermost ward, another group of 5.
Mm-hmm. We're probably not close enough to be able to hear the guards chatting.
No, you're sitting on the outermost wall. You're absolutely lucky to see them based on them being on the other side
Right.
of the inner wall.
Okay. I kind of I inform my partner in crime of the two groups that I'm seeing and how many their number is. And point out where their general locations are. Probably using military hand signals, if we're honest.
You'd be able to understand them.
Sorry, I'm chewing, so I've been muted. Yeah, and I would take note of those locations and start trying to figure out what a good route would be. My thought is still keeping to the tops of the walls.
Agreed.
To try and work around to get to the bishop's. What is that? Is that the bishop's quarters? Looking through the names on here.
While we're looking around, I'm going to whisper and say, I could try to sneak down there and listen in to some of the guards and see if they if they just happen to be talking about where our target is.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. And I can stay up here and keep an eye out and like ready my crossbow just in case I have to do anything.
Maybe put your chainmail on first.
Well, that too.
And so yeah, I would like to sneak my way closer to any of the guard groups and see if I can't overhear what they're talking about.
Are you gonna keep to the walls, or are you going to climb down?
Well, what does the area look like? If I climb, I would probably keep to the walls to get close. But if in order to actually eavesdrop, would I I would probably have to go down the wall depending
So,
on how loud they're talking.
based on this model, you can get to the inner wall from the rooftops from where you're
Okay.
at on the outer wall. You just kind of go a little bit to the north, and you're at that roundabout corner, which is on the Tower of London map, number 22, the Salt Tower. And that'll put you in one courtyard for one group, and then you could go over two roundabouts towards that would be the Wakefield Tower, through the Lanthorn Tower, and get you close enough to those two areas.
Okay. I would like to. That sounds like a good plan. If I'm up, if I stay up on the wall, I would be out of range to be able to hear them talking amongst themselves. So I would probably need to come down once I got close enough in order to be able to hear. Am I correct in that assumption?
Okay. Depends on what happens when you get
All
there.
right, so we'll focus on one leg at a time. I will make it to you said it was the Salt Tower. I will move towards that first. And do I need to make any rolls? Stealth rolls or anything?
Yeah, give me either acrobatics or what's the other one?
Okay.
Athletics.
I'll go with acrobatics this time because this feels more of a parkour situation rather than just a climbing situation.
Okay.
That my die was on a natural one for a moment, like just long enough for my heart to stop. But it is
We almost heard that special sound.
That is a 13 plus 7 for a dirty 20.
Okay. So you make it to the salt tower just fine, and you kind of look behind you once you get there, and you see Johnathan trying to follow, but he's struggling a little bit. He hasn't. It looks like he might be slipping, but not to the point to where he's falling. But he's struggling to get to the salt tower.
Okay. Did he have to roll for anything? Oh,
He did. You're still muted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
rolled a 7. A whole wonderful 7.
So I never said we undid the rope, did we? But I guess I just...
Yeah, nobody said that.
So...
So I guess roll again.
Yeah, does he get advantage?
Well, how about you roll again, and we'll use this roll to decide if you make it up the tower or if you fall.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Like as the advantage?
Yeah, so you've done your first one.
It's
You've
still
got
7. I rolled a 6.
I would for a note to the DM, I would say that noticing the struggle, I would slow down and not like rush ahead, so that if there is trouble, I could not be too far away.
You're gonna want to brace,
okay.
And so you see that he's really struggling. So give me an athletics check.
Okay. You know, I'm going to use my big D20 for this just because it keeps getting in my way. You said athletics? That is a 19. 13 plus...
Okay, so you're able to brace yourself and hold him in place as he kind of falls off the well, it's more of a gate between the tower and where you were, and he swings down, and he does hit the wall, taking 2 hit points of damage, but he doesn't fall fully.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to hold and brace him in midair.
Okay.
So what do you guys do?
I'm gonna try and reestablish a grip on the wall.
I mean, you do have the rope, so like I'm holding the rope,
Mm-hmm.
so the rope is there to help you get back up if you need to.
Yeah, but I don't want to be leaving you having to try and hold me and the rope and everything else, so I would rather grab the wall and start climbing again.
Give me a strength athletics check.
Athletics or acrobatics?
No, yeah, give me acrobatics. Acrobatics probably a better one for you.
9. Like it literally went past 19 and 20 and this and then rolled over. I'm like,
Are you sure you don't want your real dice?
no, I'd probably roll worse.
I feel like at this point I need to start rolling some saves.
Well, wait, the rope's there. The rope's there, right? Is that still going to work as an advantage?
Yeah, I'll give you that since he's already braced and holding.
There we go.
There it is. All right, so you're able to use the rope to your advantage, climbing hand over hand with your feet on the tower until you're at the top with Isabel.
You good?
And now on to the next tower, right?
Well, unless you want to try to listen to the group of guards that are in the courtyard directly.
Yeah, I would like
you.
to try to do that before we moved on, just to save us from potentially having to do any more.
Well, I would say at this point, is there any roof access into the tower?
Which tower?
We're on the salt tower, right?
You are in the salt tower, yes. If you wanted to climb down, you could climb down.
Because my thought is if we have to keep moving instead of climbing, we can just sneak into the tower and then onto the actual wall from like an exterior
Fair.
door.
And well, definitely a thing to consider. But are we able to hear the guards from where we're at, or do we need to get closer?
Give me a what's your passive investigation?
Mine's 13.
Or Cat, right?
Yeah.
It's a 12 investigation.
So you don't hear anything without focusing. If you want to focus, I need an investigation
Not
check.
a perception.
Or yes.
Yes, an investigation. Okay.
Yes.
That is a, let's see, +2. Another 19. 17 plus 2.
Okay. You didn't do well?
9.
Nice.
If you'd have kept the
So-
investigation.
So he's a bit oblivious. But what you end up hearing is just a group of chatter. These 5 guards are you hear one, and he's like, I don't understand why we're guarding at all hours, where the war is far away from the town. And the other one is another guard is like, it's because the king is here. His father has just passed weeks ago. The king is here, and we are meant to protect him. And then another guard chimes in and goes, besides, I don't want to be on the front lines. This is a pretty posh gig. I'm good. And they just kind of, they go back and forth, and you really don't get any real information out of this group other than knowing that the king is here, but his brother is they don't know anything about his brother, if his brother's here
Okay.
or not.
And remind me, which one is it that we're looking for?
You're looking for
Okay.
the king. You are looking for King
Edward the Fifth.
Edward the Fifth.
All right. I turned to Richard. You good to keep going, or do you need a few minutes?
While you were eavesdropping, I would have been putting my chainmail back on and just getting ready. So,
Okay.
My thing that I'm looking at this point is like, if we're looking north to our left, we got rooftops we could go across, or we could go north along the actual wall by going into the tower and then out onto the actual parapet.
Yeah. Where was that other group of guards you said I saw again?
They would be at
I think you said it was over by the.
what is known as Brass Mount. It'd be the roundabout on the northeast corner, right next to the moat on the outer wall.
Okay.
Got it.
And right now we're on the inner wall. So, I mean, we'd go up to that, what is that, 19, to like Martin Tower on the northeast corner and have a look down onto those guards that are at that corner.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's try that.
And there is access down into the tower from here, right?
Yeah.
Am I able to listen at the door and see if I try and hear any voices from inside? Or any kind of noises of people sleeping or moving?
Let's do insight.
$14.
You don't hear anything out of the ordinary. It's just all you really hear is kind of like the flicker of too many candles being lit in one room.
Okay. I looked at Kat. Would you want to go first since you're going to be a lot quieter than I am?
Yeah, that's probably the better idea. I am going to untie myself from the rope, but hand him the end of the rope so that if we need to reestablish that, that would be up to him, you know?
Yeah, I'll just like coil it around like over a shoulder and back up around and then like tie it off so it's ready to go.
And
it's not trailing around.
And then I will sneakily, stealthily move forward.
All right. So give me a stealth check.
Plus 7, 22. Yes, 22. 15 plus 7.
I was going to say, how did a 7 get to 22?
because I added the die roll of 15 to it.
So when you come into the tower, like you slowly open the door, you noticed it was unlocked. But when you get into the area, and you just see like 10 candles lit and paper on a desk, but you don't see anybody there. Like they had just left in a hurry and they didn't blow out their candles when they left.
Okay. As we're going, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for well, I was going to say surveillance cameras, but never mind. This is way too far in the past. Way too far in the past. I feel like Kat would be keeping an eye out for like
what is that strange thing?
Like just out of habit, you know, because this is Kat we're talking about. Just out of habit, she'd be looking for security cameras and things like that, like security systems, traps, and things like that. But she is going to how I feel like we would have Richard and Isabel and John and Kat would have agreed on a signal for rooms clear, I'm going to the next one type of a thing.
Yeah.
Based
just
on
low whistle or something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give that signal and then move on to the next, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and then I follow down.
Okay, and you guys are taking the top of the wall,
going north
up towards the Broad Arrow Tower, and basically keep moving your way up north. How far do you guys plan on going?
I believe the plan was to go from 22 to 19 on the Tower of London map.
Okay,
and then to the top of 19.
Okay, so let's do a stealth check at every tower. So you have made it to the Broad Air Tower. Why don't you give me a stealth check for entering this tower?
For both? Or am I just trailing behind?
Right now you're just trailing.
Okay.
Because with Kat opening the door.
All right. So next stealth check. Not as good, 17.
You open the door and it creaks just a little bit, but it's not enough that you're concerned. And you open, and all you really see is it looks like one guard is just looking at this one sheet of paper, and from your vantage point, all the paper is a few names and the word morning, like in the morning.
Oh, so it's probably like shift names in the morning for the morning type of a thing, possibly.
Yep.
Is his back to me? And you said he's the only one in the room?
Yes. Yep.
Stay your blade from the flesh of an innocent. I'm gonna choke him out.
Okay. Let's just do straight stealth.
That was almost a natural 20. 21. 14 plus 7.
Yeah. Go ahead and describe the action of choking him out.
So since his back is to the door, I'm going to slip in, and then just like arm around the neck, that kind of a thing. Just kind of be like, go to sleep, 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 go to sleep. And then once he's unconscious, just kind of like, you said he's at a desk.
Yeah,
is it a desk that has a front panel so that you can't see under it unless you're behind the desk? Okay, sure. I'm going to just like fold him up in the little desk under the desk area. And then...
Okay.
No, I was just going to come in and use the rope to tie him up and then gag him. But
I mean, we might need the rope.
I've got rope, I think.
True. I also have that used bola that I can wrap him up in.
Yeah, I got an extra 50 feet of rope.
After he's unconscious, before I hide him, I will give the all clear signal so that he can come in and input what he wants to do, what he thinks we should do.
You gonna tie him up or leave him?
Tie him up and then grab rip part of his sleeve off and then gag him with it.
Okay.
Just so if he wakes up, he can't start yelling for help while he's tied up.
Okay.
And then do the same thing, tuck him under the desk.
Okay, we can.
When did Assassin's Creed become Hitman?
No, if it was Hitman, we'd dump him in a trunk.
into the paper shredder he goes.
Out the window into the moat.
Well, you're in the inner wall. He'd just go thud on the wall.
It wouldn't be a thud. It'd probably be a very wet splat.
Probably. Anyway, let's
into
move
the Jakes.
up. So, give me a stealth check here for exiting the tower.
I will, using our same process. I will be the one to go first. Oh wow. Okay. Not to curse it, but the good rolls keep coming. 17 plus 7.
No.
That 24?
Okay. So the door opens without an issue, and it turns out there wasn't anyone on this section of the wall. So you're able to move freely and unimpugned to the Martin Tower.
Okay.
And we're at the same bit again. Go ahead and roll for stealth to open the door.
19.
This door opens without another squeak. It's like they've recently oiled the hinges of each door on the towers as you've moved forward. This tower is surprisingly empty, and it's dark, so you really can't tell why. Out of the towers on the wall, you would think this one would have at least a few people in it, with it being directly in front of the Waterloo block and the regiment's headquarters.
So this is suspiciously empty?
For some reason, it's empty. Yes.
Instead of entering, I'm going to slip back and tell him that it's suspiciously empty.
What? It's suspiciously empty?
This is it feels like it's a place that it doesn't make sense for it to be empty. So it is suspicious that it is empty. I'm still going to go in, but just be on your guard to back me up.
Are we
Will
going
do.
up to the top of this tower?
Which
or
one are we
going
on?
down?
19 or
We're
20?
going to go up.
You're
Yeah,
on
19. We were going to go up to the top so we could see the guards that were down on that outermost
Yeah.
crenellation.
Oh, out in front of the headquarters. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I thought
So
you said there were guards on 30.
there are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're saying. What we're meaning.
Yeah, we're trying to listen and trying to eavesdrop on those guards on 30.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because there's a group of 3 on 30, and then there's a group of 5 close to 10. The Cold Harbor Gate.
Okay.
So you get to the top of the tower, and I'd like an investigation out of both of you.
Well.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Well, mine was not a natural 1.
But it was a 2.
2 plus 2 is 4. Yay, I passed first grade.
Okay. Yes. So you Kat doesn't hear anything, and what Johnathan hears is it's like it's being carried on the wind, like it was meant for his ears only. And the guards talking to amongst each other is like I know the king's here, but we're like, why isn't he in the tower? He's supposed to be in the tower. Are they waiting for his brother to get here? Like, there's no reason for him right now to be in the queen's house. His mother's not here. Why isn't he in the tower? I don't understand. And he's going on this rant, and what looks like the sergeant just kind of looks at him and goes, "It's not our place to ask. He's the king. We owe our loyalty to him." And Johnathan just sees that guard rolls his eyes, like he knows the king has no power in England at this point.
I'll relay that to Kat. So what I would be getting from that is that he's not actually in the tower yet. He's probably in the bishop's quarters.
Okay. And where are those?
I'm trying to figure out. I was kind of thinking it'd be like the chapel, but
which is number 2 on the map, right?
Because the White Tower is the main building, yeah, and then the headquarters would be like the garrison.
And 13, down in the very directly
the
diagonal,
house.
is the queen's house.
Let me
Now, if you want to give me a history check, since you're past this point, and Johnathan wouldn't know exactly which buildings are which, but Woodville might, you can give me a history check.
All right. $17.
And then roll me a d6.
3.
So you'll take 3 points of exposure. But you will understand that historically he might have been listed in... you'll know, Woodville will know that the buildings in the southwest are the Queen's quarters, based on what the guards just said. He's assuming that's probably where King Edward V is. But based on the other thoughts, that Johnathan might think that he is also at the Chapel Royal. So you kind of have these two conflicting bits of information. One that Woodville knows based on what the guards just said, and what Johnathan knows historically.
Isabel just continues waiting for, because she has even less knowledge. Actually,
So the guards were saying he's in the Queen's house?
Yes.
I think at that point I would be more apt. The guards are on site. They're going to know. So I think it would be more apt to go there as opposed to going someplace that you just happen to think he might be.
Yeah.
See, this is where the DMs just try to lead you astray. Oh, now they're on the other side of the compound from this place.
now, just I would think that Isabel would not actually have much in the way of information that would be helpful here, but
right, just new in town.
So, yeah, no,
my feeling at this point is from where we're located, I think John would want to, because we would have to inevitably go past it anyways, check the chapel on the way to the Queen's quarters.
We could go back the way we came from 19 back down to 22, then hit 23, 24.
Yeah, but then we'd either have to go across the roofs or cut through that entire building there. Whereas from here, we can just work the walls all the way around. And then once on that northern side, we'd be pretty much covered when we're on the walls because nobody from the courtyard would be able to see us because of those buildings and their roofs being in the way. It just, to me, it's one of those things of, if we go the other way and he's not in the Queen's house, then we still have to go to the chapel. But if we check the chapel on the way to the Queen's house, then at least we're still going right to our destination. But then again, going back the way we came, we know half of the route is empty. From where we're at on that taller tower, are we able to get any more field of view of what's going on inside the courtyards? Or
give me an investigation check.
Natural 1.
You do not. You almost get eye strain from it.
It's so dark when there's not electric lights around.
Cat keeps accidentally standing in the way.
He would just I think at this point he would trust more to Cat's stealth expertise than necessarily in the end, if they're not in the chapel, we still have to go to the Queen's house. If they're not in the Queen's house, we have to go to the chapel. And I think he would just accept Cat's lead on this simply because they're the stealthier.
This probably is stupid, but I would like to make a a commune with my ancestor roll just to see what Isabel's instincts say to do at this point.
Okay. Give me a history check.
That is a natural 20.
Roll me a d6 for exposure.
2.
Okay, so you had 2 more points of exposure.
Won't that be a d4 for the high roll?
Very true. So go ahead. Let's see you roll a 2 with a d4.
Yeah, it's a 2. It actually is a 2.
So again, 2 points of
Fate just
exposure.
be like, I
So-
said 2.
So what Kat feels out of Isabel's DNA, out of her memories, is that it's always better to know more of your route than to take the chances. She feels that she took that chance of not knowing one too many times and might have lost someone that she loved.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the notes that she's feeling out of the instincts of Isabella.
I appreciate you saying that. That was well done. I sorry, my D&D player inside is squealing a little bit. That was so good. I appreciate that. So Kat's just gonna look at Richard / John and be like, yeah, my instincts are really just saying go back the way we came. Better safe than sorry.
Sounds good to me.
It's beautiful. Well done. So yeah, back the way we came. Do we need to make more stealth checks to go through those towers?
No, you don't. You don't need to roll to get back through 20. But when you enter 21, you hear a lot of racket coming from underneath the desk, and just a lot of squirming and.
I think I would end up just like kneeling down next to it and going,
Shh.
look.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I would literally just be like, do that, but then just be like, or we're coming back. And then just start walking away.
Give me a
Intimidation.
intimidation. Now remember, intimidation being a charisma stat is the average of the historic and the modern day character.
Okay. Okay, so just a +1.
Okay.
They're the same thing.
That makes it easy.
Natural 20.
Oh, gee. I was hoping for a nat 1 because he was going to kick you. So he just kind of goes, his eyes get wide and he's just like,
Little puddle.
and he just kind of he just gets a little bit tighter in a fetal position and just kind of lays there quietly. He's got like those big the Puss in Boots eyes where he pulls up his hat and he just kind of looks over it and you really can tell he does not he feels like he shouldn't mess with you. It's like he gets this inkling of he knows who you are and what your reputation is.
It's always nice to get those rolls. It's always nice to get those rolls right then.
So you continue back down to the Salt Tower unimpeded.
Okay.
All right. So now let's try to work
22, 23, 24.
24.
And then from there we'll see what our options are.
Yeah, because below 24 we get to there's the Bloody Tower below 24, but beyond that is, I believe, the Queen's House.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, 22 to 23.
Yep. So give me a stealth.
Following our same process.
Same
'Cause
kind
it's
of
been
process.
working.
Yep.
That is a 10.
So that's a 10 with your like +7.
I rolled a 3.
Oh, dude. So this door just kind of squeaks just a little bit kind of more than the other ones did. Not too bad. And you just kind of get this one. You see as you get your head through, you see one guard sitting at a desk, and he just kind of turns slowly around as the door starts to open. And he's trying to understand why the door is opening, and it's slow to his mind on why it's coming open. Because he could have swore that he
wanting
locked
to
it.
say delivery. Do I see him? But he hasn't like
see him.
Cognitively clicked.
He hasn't.
Okay.
Yes.
Basically, there's this moment of the two of us kind of just staring at each other in confusion. No. Okay. Is he the only one in the room?
He's the only one that you see.
All right. I am going to lunge at him and try to catch him into another chokehold.
Okay. Give me athletics.
Come on, not one. Okay. That is a not one. That is a English. Sorry. You said athletics +6, so 16. No, 17. Sorry, 11
Okay.
plus 6 is not 16.
Okay. It's good enough. So you're able to like kind of clothesline him and come around and get behind him and get a really good grip on him, but he's able to understand what's going on. So give me what we're going to do is essentially a contested strength roll.
Okay. Just a strength check.
Yep.
Okay. Strength is a +4, so 19.
I rolled a 2. So he drops pretty quickly.
Cool. Well-trained assassin versus guard caught slightly out of wares.
Yeah.
All right. So once he's down, I do confirm again that the room is empty.
Yes,
okay.
The room is empty.
So basically, I'm not. I look around. I'm not getting attacked from behind. And then I give the all clear signal.
I would follow in there.
And I'm just like,
so
put him in the box.
Which tower were we in?
You are now
23
in
or 24?
23. So you're in the Lanthorn Tower.
I'm like, I look at John. I'm like, do we put him in the box or
nobody put Davey in a box?
Yeah, I mean, is there like a lock or anything on the box?
Sure.
Yeah, let's put him in the box.
Put him in the box.
And then lock it.
I leave him a little piece of
in the morning.
Like maybe a little bit of an old biscuit or something, just something that he's not in there without something to eat.
I drop a wineskin and like half a loaf of bread in there out of my bag.
And a candy cane. No, I'm kidding.
Candy cane. Okay, so you want to continue on to the Wakefield Tower in the same process?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Okay. Much better. Dirty 20. 13 plus 7.
Okay. So this door slides open without any issue. You do see a lot. Again, it's like the up near what you saw with nobody in there, but a lot of candles.
Mm-hmm.
A desk on the south side, just nobody's there.
Okay. I'm assuming there's another door in the room, right? So like one that would go to staircases or something.
There is a few doors actually in this room. There is one, two. There's 4 doors, one on each side. There's the one you just came in from, essentially the west side. There's one to your left, one to your right,
All
and
right.
one straight ahead.
And I would probably know that the one straight ahead is the one we're wanting, right?
That would be the safe assumption.
Is there any doors going to the roof?
No, there is a ladder.
I'm
Because my thought is we might want to move up and outside and then go to the top of the bloody tower, and then work down that wall to the Queens.
safe bet. I just want to check the other doors real quick. I'm gonna put my I want to listen in at the doors for a bit, see if I can hear anything on the other side of any of the doors.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Investigation is +2, so that is an 18.
You hear nothing. You feel like you're getting to the point that you've been along this wall for long enough that you're wondering why the guard shift hasn't finished.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to feel a little conspicuous.
All right, so I'm going to give the all clear signal and then point that feeling of something's not right out to Johnathan.
Could be somebody's planning something later in the night.
Or maybe something's going down right now.
The main problem is we still got to get over to the Queens.
But maybe we pick it up a bit more. Worry a little bit less about stealth and just get over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. If we run into anybody, we just go hard and quit.
Like, don't compromise the brotherhood, but necessities are necessities.
Yes.
All right, so we go up to the roof and then over the tower and then down, just caring less about stealth, but just going.
Yep.
Okay, so then we're going to look at acrobatics instead of stealth. And this is to go from the bloody tower to the ramparts towards the Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got a 19.
Acrobatics. Okay. Why did I pick this dice? This dice I can't read. Hold on. That's 17.
Okay, so you guys land with a soft thud. Like, you feel like it feels like a good landing, even though it was like 5 feet farther than you would have liked. And yeah, so you're kind of running halfway across the rampart, the wall there, where you notice a bit of commotion outside of the Queen's house. It's just you see this one guard. He's wearing this like plate armor, and he's just pounding on the door, yelling for it to be opened. That it's time for a night check. And out of some of the houses to the north, you see, oops, not that one. You see another 2 come out, and then out of the courtyard, there's some trees to that guard's right, where you see another 2. So you see one guy pounding on the door and 4 other guards converging on the Queen's house.
Do these guards look like the other guards? Or is there something about them that doesn't seem right.
They give me an investigation check.
Oh, that is a 21.
Are you rolling on that too, or just?
I was going to say, am I able to use Richard's instincts to see whether he's able to judge a difference?
That would, if you want to give me a history check, we can do that.
Using modern day?
Yes.
A whole 1.
Okay, so give me a D8.
I'm finally taking damage here.
I have that D100 ready if you need it.
2.
Okay, so you got lucky and you take 2 bits of exposure. So what we see, what Kat is recognizing is that the guards, these 5 guards, they kind of look similar. Like if it was a passing glance, you wouldn't tell any difference. But even in the low light of what is essentially the rising sun, you can see that the sigils, the family crests that they're wearing are a little bit different, but you can't quite place exactly how they're different.
Does anything about these guards scream order?
Is that the guards coming from the house or the one banging on the door? Or all of them?
It's all of them. They look like when they've come together, they look like they have checked these areas and that they feel like they're clear, so they're coming together. They look like they're I wouldn't necessarily like it. Give me a history check.
Who?
Isabel. Kat.
Ooh, 16 total.
Okay. So what she is seeing, go ahead and give me a D6 roll on that for your exposure.
Oh, lucky. That is a 1.
Oh, very lucky. So what Isabel is able to communicate to Kat is that she doesn't know exactly who they belong to, but when she was transferred, when she was sent to England, she was told to be to keep a lookout for that sigil, that symbol.
And I get a +1 exposure, I'm assuming? Okay.
Yes.
I am in double digits. At exactly 10. Okay. All right. So, runaway die. Oh, well, I'll get it later. So feeling that memory of that, I'm going to just kind of say to Richard, Johnathan, we have to stop them.
Yeah, you would look over and see him readying his crossbow as you're saying that, because he's kind of at the same point too. Just something isn't right about it.
Okay, so help me out on the map here, because I need to make a tactical decision real quick. You said they're pounding on the door of the Queen's house on the map. We are currently on the top of 25? Question mark? Or are we?
Or are we on the roof?
No, you're closer. You're like to the walls. You're on the walls, halfway between.
So we're next to the garden, next to the or the orchard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on that wall, like the wall halfway between the Queen's house and the Bloody Tower.
How easy / difficult would it be for me to get into aerial assassination position on one of these guys?
You would have to essentially climb the rest of the way down the wall and up on top of those houses.
Okay.
Well, now that I thought we were on the roofs already, so I'm not going to ready the crossbow, but I think I would communicate at this point that I want to go and stall to give Kat time to get to the roof and just see how long I can draw it out before I have to actually start fighting them. And with luck, Kat can take out one of them from the roof.
Oh, so you're going to finally...
I'm just going to walk out there and just be like, hey, what's going on? You know, that kind of deal.
You're finally going to do the tactic I thought you guys were going to do to get into the tower?
Yes.
Distract and the assassinate?
Yep.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
So, you got two routes of doing it. You can run back to the Bloody Tower and the Wakefield Tower and climb down using the stairs, or you can give me either an athletics check to climb down the face of the wall.
Well, what I'm looking at on the model here is that the orchards and that level are actually above the rest of the fortress.
It kind of looks like it, yeah.
That cut down.
Oh, yeah, they do.
The battlements are maybe a few 3-4 feet above the actual ground.
Okay.
So I was just going to walk out of this like side alley between the orchard and her house and come around and just be like, you know, oi, what's going on? You know,
what's with all that racket?
Okay, based on this model, yeah,
kids, get off my lawn.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Does Kat need any skill checks to start climbing the roof, or?
Yeah, that was my next question.
If that, acrobatics, yeah.
Gonna parkour my way over there,
and then I would say once about halfway up, I'm gonna start walking out, and I'm just gonna have like one hand just resting on, you know, my hilt, and just come strolling out like cape over my right shoulder, and you know,
was that the nat 1 squeal?
No, that was a nat 20 squeal. So we're about to see like the most AC, like kinda.
And yeah.
Okay, so why don't you describe it for us?
Well,
as climb.
The climb.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, channeling my love of Assassin's Creed here, Isabel is going to just kind of, so just to make sure that I'm getting this in the mental theater right. We're up on the wall, on the inner wall, and I need to get over to on top of the houses. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So, on the, it doesn't look like there's much of a distance between the wall and the roofs of the houses, according to.
No, I would say that I would say that that's safe. Safe jumping distance.
If they're not like flush against them.
Back to back.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to, kind of just run my way. Like I'm going to hop up on the edge of the wall, like up on the lip of the edge. Just kind of run my way along until I'm at a point where I can just then hop over. And then, like, I don't know what these roofs looked like back then, like, you know, but I've been doing a lot of Assassin's Creed 4 lately. And you know how when you're running across the roofs, there were like the chimneys and stuff that you could climb up and hop across from chimney to chimney. Yeah, I kind of do that. Not very like description flashy, but it looks really cool.
Well, it's like crenellation to crenellation, and then like off part of the one corner of the wall, and then off the side of the house, and like you're foot hopping back and forth up the back onto the roof kind of deal.
Yeah.
And once I see Kat's about halfway, up this, like, just, that's cool. And then I'm going to stride out and just be like, and what do you think the meaning of this is? And just like come out all, regal and noble and barons, and just be like,
make sure his coat,
just to try and draw all their attention to me.
Arms is nice and shiny in the light.
Oh yeah, I got like my cloaks thrown over my right arm, right arm, and.
Are you trying to intimidate?
I was thinking performance.
Okay.
I'm putting on a performance at this point.
Okay, so that was my next question.
Like, I'm not trying to necessarily intimidate them. I'm setting them up for ambush.
Okay, so why don't you give me a performance check? And that is a charisma stat, so it's average of...
It's going to be a 1.
Okay. Well, that's right, because you're all the same.
Yeah. All right. Where is it? Performance. Oh, jeez. Bounced off the side of the screen, or it would have been a nat 20. A 3.
So the plate armored guy just stops knocking, and he just kind of turns to you. Who are you to interrupt with the business of the Earl of Warwick?
I am the Earl of Rivers, sir. I am the brother of the Queen. So who are you to interfere with the royal family?
Last time I checked, sir, the Earl of Rivers is in Scotland, looking to be beheaded. I need to speak to the king, not to his supposed uncle.
I think at that point I'd just draw my sword and hope that Kat's in position.
Am I?
Because hearing the name Warwick literally would have been a tip-off to Richard of what's going on.
Yep.
Actually,
if you want that tip-off, you need to roll a history check.
That's fine by me. That's fine.
Because Johnathan might not have known that.
While he's rolling that, is Kat in position?
14.
I'd be okay with that. Yes, you do. That name does click with you, and then roll a D6.
2.
Okay, add 2 to your exposure. Ooh. Yes, okay. Kat's in position.
Am I in a position to be able to drop on the guy who was just talking? Or am I in position to be going after one of the side guards? I'm fine with any of them. I just want to know who I'm attacking.
I think you're in a position that you could drop on the plate armor guard before he's able to draw his weapon.
Then that is what I will do with the hidden blade.
Roll. Let's do an attack. The attack roll for it.
Attack roll using. Helps if I'm looking at the right thing.
Using the standard D20 attack roll.
Would it be an advantage since I'm holding their attention?
Depends on how poorly he rolls.
Well, wait, he'd have to make a stealth roll anyways for the blade, right?
No, because he's dropping down.
Yeah, air assassination.
So it's an automatic.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules on that part.
I feel like we're making it up as we go.
Would it be advantage for the hit though?
All right. So for the 2 hit,
so advantage for
is the hit. So the stats are +7. So it is a 25. 18 + 7.
Okay, so you will land and at very least take him prone. And then I want a sleight of hand check to see if it's a clean assassination.
Light of hand check. That is a 18. 13 plus 5.
All right. Describe his death.
So like as he's was it the plate? Was it the this guy who was doing the talking, or is that one of the other? Okay.
Yes. It was the guy
So
who was
while
doing
he's turning and talking to Richard and starting to draw his weapon, he just kind of crumples into like a pile with Isabel on top of him, and her left hand just pressed against his neck. Because I'm assuming that like proper assassination, he's dead, right? I don't need to roll damage. Okay.
Yeah, he's dead. You don't need to roll. He's dead.
Hand, neck, blade between the helmet and the chest plate and the and he's just crumpled in like almost like those those hydraulic press videos, but much faster.
Okay. So as Isabel rises from her kill, she turns to see the other 4 guards have unsheathed their swords and roll for initiative.
Well, I was going to say, my question on that is, as I'm drawing, would I be able to essentially do like a sneak attack against one of the other near guards while they're watching this guy being killed?
That makes very good sense.
It's literally pulling, boom, and then like right in.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Do I get any bonuses for the sneak attack, or just
I'll let you do
attack?
it. I'll let you do a straight up attack at advantage.
I'm pretty sure I did either way, but okay.
Yep. So that guy's.
No. Oh God! Even with advantage, it was an 11.
Out of my curiosity, what class did you choose?
Nice. Fighter.
That hits nobody, no matter who you attack.
That sucks.
So, would you like to describe your failure before we roll for initiative?
So as I started to draw on him on that whole deal, and he goes down, I go to stab, and the guy happens to turn at the last second to more face like the downed guy in plate mail due to all the noise, and just like right through like his cloak.
You've made his cloak holy. All right, so you guys, it's time to roll for initiative.
Yeah, no, I went with fighter with like dueling as his fighting style. Nice. So I got an 11.
I got
a whole 11.
You know what's funny? I also got an 11.
Oh, these dice, like, they hate me at certain moments and like me at others. Oh, you just scared a guard into wetting himself under a desk. But you can't hit a broadside of a bard with your sword, even though you're a duelist.
Luck is luck. I mean, it's a thing. But yeah, no, the feat that I took that would have made a crit extra nasty for me is I took the piercer feat. And any damage I do is piercing damage. Every damage I do is piercing damage. Between the bow and arrow, the rapier, and the hidden blade. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're both 11. What's your dex?
16.
Minus 20. So, okay.
You'd go first.
All right. So, but unfortunately, that means there are 2 guards that go before you guys.
Tracks. I did just drop out of the sky.
I got my chainmail.
And they both they're shocked at what they've just saw. They've seen what in this split second is like what they think is masonry off the building to crush their
Gargoyle
commander.
just fell on him.
And so they've taken their swords and they've taken swings at the man that just thrusted at their companion, and more or less they come into contact with each other. Like they don't hit each other, but it's enough that they knock each other off their target. And that brings us to Isabel.
Okay. About are they in melee or no?
They're all within melee
then
distance.
Foregoing the longbow, I am going to pull my rapier. And I'm going to mark one of them using essentially Hunter's Mark, but it's a different version of it. It's the favored foe thing, which I only get to do a certain number of times per long rest. And I'm assuming these guys are beefier than the previous guards we fought. All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I'm going to, mark one of them with that. So when I attack that specific one, I get an extra D4 of damage. So basically, I'm just going to, in non-magical terms, non-D&D terms, I'm just going to kind of focus on this one guy, and he's going to be the one that I'm going to be mainly fighting.
He's like locking onto your target.
Basically, yeah. Target locked on. She turned off her targeting computer. But yeah, with her rapier, she is going to kind of leaning into the, like, just from a crouched position, almost from where she landed on the guy she just killed. She's going to then like spring off of his corpse and thrust forward with the rapier, attacking the guy she just locked on to, essentially. All right. Rapier. 19 to hit.
That'll hit, so go ahead and roll damage and describe the action.
D8 plus a D4. Hold on just a second. Let me double check words on my piercer thing. Once per turn, I can re-roll the piercing damage from an attack if I choose to. Okay. So D8. I am going to re-roll that because that was a 1 on the D8. Much better. That's a 5 plus the D4, which is a 4 for a 9 plus 5 from the stats is 14 damage.
Describe his death.
Okay. But yeah, so she, like I said, she kind of just springs from the corpse, with drawing her rapier and kind of just thrusts the rapier down to its hilt through his face. I feel like. Does that track?
Okay.
I mean, if he's got like a plate helmet on,
yeah,
then she might go for the neck. But like, you know.
Well, only the guy at the door had plate armor. The rest are just guard.
Yeah, the rest, they're just wearing chain shirts and have a shield.
So I kind of go through his. I think I just go through his face, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Poor bastard.
At least he didn't feel anything.
Meanwhile, the DM's like, okay, so I'm going to double the health pools of.
Oh, I'm sure the guy that got taken out at the door was probably beefy. All right, so my turn, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, as they're turning back to engage me while also being engaged, I'm going to, like, riposte, pull back from my earlier strike and go in for another, like, slashing, like, swing. And that'll be a 15 to hit.
15 does not hit.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Jesus. Cool.
Nope.
That's all I got.
So, this guy that you just are having issues with, he just kind of looks at you, and he sees all this carnage that's going on, and he turns and sprints towards the orchard.
Do I get an attack of opportunity since he's now leaving my space?
You can take a attack of opportunity, yes.
Son of a... It was on a 16 and then rolled over to a 6 for a whole 10 damage.
Yeah, your attack just totally misses, and this guy's gone. He's just out of there.
Oh. So the 2 I attacked are dead. 1 escaped.
2 that you attacked, 1 escaped. There are still 2 left. And they're still very confused on what's going on. We're in such great commotion that one turns towards Isabel to try to bring their sword down, but he's unsteady on his feet, and he's just he misses wide to the right, and the other one bears his sword down on Richard, and he's more worried about the fact that his friend has left, that he brings it wide right, and it is Isabel's turn.
So now is a fine time for me to actually, now that I've speared one through the face, for me to ask, are these standard guards, or are these were these guys wearing similar clothing to the guy who was pounding and stuff?
They were wearing the same colors.
Okay.
And
so guilt is not a thing I have to worry about right now.
No.
I am going to. Is there another one in melee, or are the 2 that remaining still a little bit?
They were all fairly close to each other, so I would say they're all.
Also, is the one that's escaping still within sight?
For the rest of this round, yes.
I'm gonna draw my longbow.
Okay.
I'm going to use the ensnaring strike again, and this again. Oops, damn it! I keep pushing that button. I keep accidentally pushing the actually roll the dice button. But anyway, the ensnaring strike to capture the guy, to keep him from running away.
Okay.
And then aim at him with my longbow.
Okay.
No, he doesn't get to run off and bring reinforcements. Or maybe he does, because that was a natural 1.
Now we know what natural 1 is. That dude's just destined to get away. It's his fate.
Yeah, so your shot goes wide right.
Do I hit Richard with my bola?
No, you've hit a tree in the orchard. So
that poor tree ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
2 I was aiming for. Shut up,
Richard.
I almost want to throw my sword at the dude running away, but at the same time, I'm just like, no, I'm gonna go for the nearest guard that's like that took a swing at me and missed. 17.
That will hit.
Finally. At this point, I'm just like, oh no, I'm doing a D8. Never mind. I was debating between a 1D8 or a 1D10, but I get a higher bonus with the 1D8. Oh no, wait, they're even. I'm like so irritated at this point. I'm just going to do a two-handed swing at this dude. For a whole 4 freaking damage. It would have been a 10, and it rolled over. I hate damage dice.
It sounds like you're just having issues, period. But not as many issues as these guys have been having to hit anything.
Yeah, so like I take my angry two-handed swing, and it just like carves open his chainmail and gives him a light gash.
So the one guard that has been attacking Isabel is able to take his short sword and just kind of like scrape it along her back. Where's the dice? That one. That dice. And you are going to take 5 points of damage. So this guard just kind of comes down. He's holding a shield in one arm and a sword in the other, and he just does a cross slash across your back as you've turned away from him to shoot the fleeing guard.
Okay.
And then it is your turn again.
Since I still have, I'm assuming that in order to swap weapons, I dropped my rapier to pull my longbow and arrow.
Yeah, because you didn't have time to sheath.
So instead of trying to pick that up off the ground, I'm going to pull an arrow from my quiver and try to stab this guy with it.
Okay.
This would technically, mechanically be called an improvised attack, I believe.
Yes. I'm just thinking. Actually, let's roll it based on if it was a dagger.
So it would be a D4 of damage.
D4 of damage, and since it's close-handed,
I'd say just a 20.
Well, a D20 and add your
Dexterity.
Yeah. Well,
excuse me.
Either your let's go acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Okay. I mean, I would have
because it's just like just like your
way
hit
it generates your hit DC is based on what the weapon is,
right?
On your base stats.
But I'm basing this off the hidden blade, which is based off the dagger.
The hidden blade is literally just
and it's a
on my character sheet is literally just a renamed dagger. Like
So just
okay.
Give me a D20 with a +7.
So roll for a dagger strike, basically. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. That's more than a 19, so I'm assuming that hits.
Yeah.
And then a D4 +5. Ooh, that's good old max damage with 9 hit points coming in.
Okay. So he's not dead, but
not happy either.
You could consider. Why don't you? Yeah, describe to me what a dead man walking looks like.
So to follow through with what Isabel did, so like she stabbed the one guy in the face, then kind of just left the rapier in his face, then quickly pulled the bow and arrow, turned and shot at the guy and missed the guy who'd been escaping. Then after getting attacked in the back, she's going to pull another arrow and turn and just kind of stab the arrow into his like thigh. And there is that artery that's in the thigh that if you're not careful about and you snip that could be very dangerous. So I feel like she's got really close to that, if not actually hit that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably a case of blocking the blood. So if the arrow comes out, he bleeds out.
Right.
So Go ahead, Richard. Give us your attack.
A whole 9.
Yeah. Why don't, you're not a fighter, huh?
No, I'm just getting crap rolls. Like, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Well, to be fair, the guy that you're fighting isn't able to hit you either. So that's a plus. The downside is this guy that has this arrow in his thigh has he's basically fallen forward, and he has hit Isabel again with his sword during his forward launch, and he does 4 points of damage.
There we go. Alrighty. Oof.
All right, so that brings us back to you.
I'm going to pull the arrow out of his thigh and then try to stab him in the neck with it.
All right, so give us a dagger attack.
Ooh. That is a natural 20. Not that he really needed it, because you said he was a dead man walking.
He didn't. Yeah. Describe his
So I had just stabbed him in the thigh, and he had fallen. You said he kind of hit me.
He kind of lunged forward and kind of nicked you on the.
So
on the
I'm going to pull the arrow out of his thigh, and just kind of then, as he's lunging, I'm going to just kind of jam the arrow through his neck. Like in this kind of like the soft spot that's like at the where the jaw the under of the jaw connects to the neck, kind of like up through there.
Yeah. He just, as soon as that arrow goes through, he just kind of slides on it, and as he falls, he pulls it out of your hand.
All right. And then to finish my turn, I would like to. You said there's only one left, and it's the one that's engaged with Richard.
Yep.
Yep. I'm gonna put my bow and arrow away, or my bow away, and grab the rapier out of the face of the second guy I killed.
Okay. That brings us back to Richard.
Might be muted.
No, I was rolling. Yay, 22 to hit.
That will hit.
So like in my head, if you'll allow me, in my head, you guys have just been having like the most epic Assassin's Creed like counter fight going.
7 damage.
Describe his death.
Did he miss me or actually hit? No, he hasn't even hit me.
He hasn't hit you yet either.
Yeah, so like I'm dodging and I finally like get my second wind, and as he goes to swing, like I come around, catch his sword arm and wrap one arm around it, and then just like drive my sword up under his like hauberk and just like right up into the rib cage, and then just lower him to the ground.
And that brings us out of battle. Before we move forward, I have to say this because this is a frustrating. Even though it turned out to be all right because of how much you guys kept missing each other, the first guy you killed had an AC of 18 with 52 hit points.
In my defense, I gave you the opportunity to have me kill anyone else on the field.
Well, it would have made sense.
I would have insisted on that dude just because of the fact he's got plate armor.
Well, he's the leader. It makes sense the assassin would kill the leader first.
Uh-huh.
So
wait, is he laying on the ground gurgling right now so we can do like one of those little scenes, and rub a feather in it?
Would you like to do
well, no, that would be on Kat to do.
A death corridor? in reality, we should have done that at the
Well-
beginning because of like everything
That's
would have
true.
froze. But
I mean, but that would have slowed the hell down of the gameplay. So let's just
true. So how would you guys like to proceed since everybody is now
I will
down?
return to the guy that has just kind of been crumpled, and do the appropriate thing of closing his eyes and the like. And
See, this is your moment. You get to have your custom, assassination scene.
is there any kind of like one of those white screen confessional moments that happens? If not, that's okay.
Yeah, let's kind of you just kind of see the animus kind of the machine just kind of flicker a little bit, and you see white cubes kind of come around, and you realize that this man was meant to die at the hand of Isabel. For whatever reason, this triggered something within Kat's DNA and brings in this conversation of her putting down this plated guard, and he just looks up and goes, "Why?" All I wanted, all I was promised, was to bring stability out of this war, to protect my friends and my family. That's why I'm here. Why would you bring my life to an end?
The means of which that peace is brought matters greatly to this situation. I am not very poetic. It is.
If the peace is lasting, why does it matter if a little bit of blood is spilt? Why does that boy's life matter when we're talking about the kingdom and everyone else in it? He cannot bring this rebellion to an end, this civil war.
I feel like at that point, Kat, who kind of has been in control at that point, up to this point, just kind of loses the hand on the steering wheel for a little bit. Like she loses that control, and Isabel takes over. And instead of actually responding, just says in Spanish, rest in peace. Because anything more than that would take someone who is she feels like it would take someone who's a mentor to debate such things, and that it's not her place within the brotherhood to debate that heavily.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I would say for any part of Richard in that scene, he would just have his arms crossed in like the background, just pacing in like the mist of the animus.
Okay. So this night, Fall breathes his last breath. You feel that death shudder as you close his eyes and you give him his final prayer. And you see the animus go from white, it snaps back into the green, and the light starting to come up from the sun, and you just look around. What do you do?
I think John / Richard would at that point, like seeing the kind of conflict after that whole thing, would walk up and just put a hand on a shoulder and just be like, the simple answer is one life is as important as any other life. One life is not any more valuable than 10,000. No one's life is forfeit just to save that of others.
Bringing in the philosophy.
And then I think I would just start heading to the door to try to go in to make sure everything's okay inside.
So when you reach the door, what do? Do you try to, how do you try to get in?
I think I would just like do 3 quick knocks and just be like, it's Richard of Woodville, or Richard Woodville, open the door in the name of King Edward V.
And in the background, I'm going to be like,
give me
trying to hide bodies.
Just dragging them to the side. I think at this point, any noise we made from that would have been well heard. So it's like,
so just give me a persuasion check.
A whole 8.
And you, on the other side of
Do
the
I get
store,
advantage for that just from the historical thing on it, or no?
I'll give you advantage, sure, or inspiration, so to speak.
Nat 20.
Okay. So the door slowly, you hear it, click. It sounds like a bar has lifted on the other side, and it slowly creaks open, and it sounds like it's the only door that needed oiling,
other than the one I found earlier.
So because so it's like really loud, and this little boy, he can't be more than 12 or 13, and he just looks up at you and goes, "Uncle?"
Yes, nephew. And like I usher him back away from the door so we can slip in.
Why are you here? What has happened? What happened to my other uncle? Why they promised my family? What is going on?
I'm afraid your uncle Richard is looking to depose you. We have to get you out of here. Those men were sent by the Earl of Warwick.
But why would he be? The Earl said he was just here the other day. Like, he said as long as I held on to our crowning jewels that I'd be fine. That no harm would come of me.
There's too much to explain. If you stay here, you may never leave these walls.
Well, where is Mother?
She's fled London. Your brother's with her.
Okay. But shouldn't we wait for? Oh no, like the Earl said that he would bring Mother to me.
No, she is not coming back to London. It is not safe for her here. Your uncle, my brother, has been arrested. And your cousin, the Grey Knight, has also been arrested by the Lord Protector.
Well,
he means to take your throne.
I don't. Give me a. Yeah, let's do another persuasion check.
15.
He looks at you with doubt, like this young man is very conflicted, and he goes to the back of the room, and he starts rummaging through this trunk, and you don't quite know what he's looking for, or why he has decided to go to this trunk, but he starts bringing things out, and he finds this one object that all you can see is like a sphere with a cross on it, and it kind of it has this faint golden glow, and he turns around and he holds it towards you, and all you can hear is a very slight whisper. Tell me true. What does my uncle have planned? I would like you to give me a charisma saving throw.
10.
And what as this golden light envelops you, you just kind of to freeze, and the Johnathan portion of this mind is trying to move Richard's body, but he can't. He doesn't have any idea what's going on. Isabel, Kat, is there anything you want to try to do before we move on?
Assassinate the kid. No, I'm kidding. No, Isabel, Kat, excuse me, kind of seeing the grip that Richard has been placed into. This would be her first time actually seeing an artifact in use, right? Because she didn't actually see the cross in use, did she? I don't think they.
No, because I don't know. Remind me if she saw the golden glow and the two men kneel and cover themselves, because that was the only part of the interaction that they would have saw, because the animus, the machine would have pulled them out right as they started seeing what was going on with the artifact.
I think she did see the golden glow and the kneeling, but I don't remember for sure. But I feel like this is strongly the first actual use of an artifact that she's seen. So I kind of feel like she should make some kind of saving throw herself to determine if she actually has the presence of mind to actually do anything at all.
Okay. Since she isn't being discussed to give me a Constitution saving throw.
For Kat or Isabel?
Do Kat. No, Isabel. Because it'll be over the body.
10.
She's just staring in awe of this golden glow. Like she can't take leave of her arms or legs to move forward, to do anything. And this young man, who most would look on as a young boy, but clearly he has this twinkle in his eye where he understands what he is holding and what he is doing, moves a little bit closer to Richard, and he just holds it up higher to his face and says, "Tell me again, what does my uncle have planned? Tell me true." And at this point, nobody can move, nobody can speak, but he is able to get the object close enough to Richard's face that the animus starts to kind of to fade out, and the scene disappears, and your vision's clear, and you're no longer at the Tower of London. You are back into the warehouse, and the servant is pulling out your IVs, and she looks at you and looks at the pair of you and goes, "It was the one that Elizabeth had. This is not a new artifact. We're fine. We're fine. That artifact cannot bother us anymore. Thank you. Thank you, both of you."
What the hell was that?
And she just Isabel. The servant just kind of looks up at you and says, about 800 years ago, before this war, there was an artifact that could duplicate the user and hold people in their grasp and just create these ultimate illusions. And the rumor has it that it eventually became put in the jewels, the crowning jewels of Queen Elizabeth. And when we heard that it could have possibly been used in part of the rise of her Tudor family, and that the company was looking for it, we needed to know for sure. That, Kat, is why we are hunting these artifacts. Now you know, now you have seen why we are making this hunt.
Kat just kind of falls silent and just kind of, because like I feel like what she saw before, as far as the artifacts are concerned, was rather minimal compared to this very overt, display of power. And so I feel like her mind's just a little blown a little bit.
Oh yeah, I totally can understand that.
Jonathan's just sitting rubbing his temples, and then he looks up and he just goes, he wasn't talking to Richard, he was talking to me. And then just like walks over and like starts putting his stuff back like in his hidden spots.
And the servant just kind of looks at John, and you can't know that for certain. You can't know that for certain. And you need to rest. With the trauma that you've just been through, going out like you are can make your headache worse. And I know you're feeling it. Don't end up like the others. Kat, before you leave, before you go home or wherever your next hacker group decides to send you, you should rest. She hands you a chocolate bar, tells you this will help. Even if you just rest for a day, take all the time. She hands you a key and tells you to look for a hotel near the London Eye. That this key, I call them all a key. This credit card, will get you anywhere you need to go. And just rest. You've been through a lot today. And that brings us to the end of our story. I want to thank Crimson once again. Andrew, thank you, both of you, for joining me today and helping me create this amazing story for the 3rd anniversary of Visions of the Past. And before we head out of here, Crimson, where can people find you?
I am Crimson Knight Gaming, KRIMZON KNIGHT Gaming on Twitch. And I also have a link tree that can point you in like terms of social medias and my Discord and things like that. But primarily you'll be able to find me on Twitch that way. KRIMZON KNIGHT Gaming. And thank you very much for having me. This is the first one was a lot of fun. This one was also a lot of fun, and I'm always on board for anything Assassin's Creed.
They were different, but they were different in good ways. Andrew, before we head out, is there anywhere that you would like to point people to if they want to stop by and say hello?
I'm not really present in the social webs.
Oh, that's all right.
I do have a Reddit. It's Aiden Lore, all one word, I believe. Aiden like the name, and lore like, well, legends and lore. I might do something with it in the future. We just have to see.
Well, and you have just joined my Discord server today, which anyone can find along with my other social media at my link tree, link tr.ee/visions of the past, where you'll find links to all of my social media and even a place where you can help, where you can donate to this podcast to help make future episodes. But until our next podcast, to my assassin friends, keep to the creed, and to those Templars that may be listening, may the Father of Understanding guide you.